Here's Peter from VADER, and you're listening to FANTASM Podcast. Stay with us. Phantasm. This is Philip H. Anselmo.
Hi, this is from Creator.
Chambry, bass player, Napalm Death.
This is Alex from Crisium. This is Max Kolasny from Crisium. This is Lee from Monstrosity.
Hey, this is Chris from Cryptopsy. Hey, this is Matt from Cryptopsy.
This is Will from Cryptopsy. Rush Dolan from Immolation.
Name is Kim Borey.
This is Ben from Goat Whore.
Sammy DeWay from Goat Whore.
This is Martin Vadrunen from Asphyx. And you're listening to
FANTASM Podcast.
Hey, this is Chris Barnes from 6 Feet Under. You're listening to Corey Gorechrist and Dr. Vincent West on the Phantasm Podcast.
This is Frank from Suffocation. The Phantasm Podcast goes down fucking smooth.
What the fuck is up, and welcome to the Phantasm Podcast. I'm Corey Gorechrist. With me, to my right, Dr. Vincent West.
Hey, what's going on?
We also have Mrs. Gorechrist on the show.
She's the
Hello.
KFC. Hello.
And, wow, this is an amazing episode we have for you guys. We're going right off with this one. We got Peter from VADER on the show. If you haven't heard The Empire yet, their new record, it's fucking awesome. Doctor caught up with them on their recent U.S. tour with Internal Bleeding. He'll talk to you about that. But the episode we have for you is so awesome, and it comes at a really good time for this. And there you see Dr. Chalice himself, Tom Atkins, on the screen here. Doctor, what do we got from the vault?
CREEPSHOW.
Tales of horror that will give you the creeps.
This is going to be extremely painful, Mr. Verrill.
The most fun you'll ever have being scared. CREEPSHOW. Rated R.
Now playing at a theater near you.
82.
Haven't seen this film in a really long time. It's now out of print, that you told me.
It is.
And we got Tom Atkins on the screen right now. It's 1982. The late and great George Romero, and this is the first episode we've done since his passing.
Yeah, it sucks.
So, just want to say rest in peace, George. You were a true legend of the business. It's also fitting the Doctor has his Fright Rags Dawn of the Dead t-shirt, the red retro
Just got that too.
version. Pretty awesome. In there you see on the screen the CREEPSHOW comic books here. I think it's cool. It starts right off with Tom Atkins bitch slapping.
I think the print of this is gorgeous. It
is. I don't even know when this Blu-ray came out, but it's
2011.
Really? It looks amazing.
It's a Warner catalog title. It's worth quite a bit now.
Right.
You can find one for about anywhere between 50 and up.
Right.
Some a little cheaper, depends on who's selling it. But
Look at that. He's got a fucking...
he always has a beer.
He's a giant glass full of beer.
There's more foam in it than beer.
Yeah. And you got a lot of good cameos in here. You got Ed Harris. You got Tom Savini. Stephen King, of course. Leslie Nielsen, Ted Danson. Galen Ross from fucking Dawn of the Dead, which is amazing. Adrienne Barbeau.
Ed, what's his name's in this too?
Ed Harris.
Yeah. And George, I didn't realize this. George is who got him his career started.
Yeah, Night Riders.
Yeah,
which is one of my favorite
I was
films.
reading about that.
It's not one of
I
Tom
didn't realize that
Savini's
he
films.
didn't really have anything before that. So.
That shit's awesome. The effects in this are really good. Look at that. Just turns right into the cartoon. This movie is just one of a kind. These are really cool. And they kind of outdid Tales from the Crypt and what it did, I think. And
I mean, between you and me, Tales from the Crypt is dog shit compared to CREEPSHOW.
I'm more of a Twilight Zone guy. The only thing I liked about Tales from the Crypt was the Crypt Keeper.
I
wish he had.
I don't hate it, but to me, CREEPSHOW is the death metal to the.
Well, now they're
to the
Hal Holbrook's in this too, which is fucking awesome. But there's been some stir-ups in the horror community as of late, from what I've seen, which is really cool. AMC's doing 2 new shows centered around this kind of style, like a CREEPSHOW kind of show. Well, the first one, it's Eli Roth is doing like the history of horror like series, which I think is awesome. Whether you're a fan of Eli Roth or not, at least they're bringing horror back into, he's going through all the old school stuff, which I think is really neat. And then Greg Nicotero is doing an actual like CREEPSHOW style show where it's like a I don't know, it's just broken up into...
It's an anthology?
Yeah, it's an anthology series that they're doing. Also AMC. So AMC's really cashing in on the horror with the Walking Dead stuff, which, it's not a big fan of. But, at least the Walking Dead's keeping the horror, kind of pushing it back up into the mainstream where it needs to be. And they're feeding off of that. And I think somebody like Greg Nicotero who's definitely... kept the business up. He's definitely the right person to get to produce that kind of show. So I think it'd be really cool. No true details on it yet, but that's what they've been saying about it. That's something to look forward to for all you horror nuts and somebody that needs a modern I think we need anthology horror shows like that, like CREEPSHOW and like Twilight Zone was. I think that's a good idea to keep that kind of thing going. So props to AMC for signing something like that and keeping horror anthologies alive. I think that's really cool. Not to mention AMC's always been faithful to the horror genre. I mean, ever since I was little, AMC is who always did the Halloween marathons of Michael Myers, and they would do the Friday the 13th marathons and everything. So who better on actual cable TV than AMC to put that stuff out? So I think that's really cool. So something to look forward to. But this movie is very unique. It's just weird, and it's really... They did it right, There's Ed Harris. He still looks really young in this. Which I don't remember when... was it? The Knight Riders came out. So
81.
Was it 81? Yeah. And Hal Holbrook's in this too from The Fog, which I think is awesome.
And Fletch Lives.
Yeah, and Fletch Lives, which is finally coming to Blu-ray in September.
Oh yeah.
Be on the lookout for that. As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Wow, the doctor's already got that pre-ordered." And sure enough, you're like, "I've got it."
Yeah, I love it. Chevy Chase is awesome.
So that's something to look forward to. Now, I thought I saw Galen Ross in this scene, but I think that's her right there, actually. Because people are old now. So yeah, we always do this, but I'll do movies 1982. Usually once we get into this list, it'll refresh my memory on the things that we've already done. Okay, so The Thing was what we did 1982 last. Mm-hmm. The Jeremy Wagner Broken Hope episode. Check out our SoundCloud and our YouTube and everywhere else podcasts are listened to, and you can find it on there. Blade Runner was another huge one that came out in 82. E.T., which I'm not sure why Fright Rags is doing that.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
It's just a waste, I think. You're like a horror teacher.
The good thing is it's not under the Fright Rags moniker. It's under his other company.
Oh, it's like one of those.
Same with it did the Street Hawk. It's under that.
Okay,
moniker.
It's called like Retro something.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It's like a collaboration line or whatever with another artist. Okay. Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan. Got Poltergeist, Conan the Barbarian, Fast Times at Ridgemount High, which I'm hoping the Doctor and I go see in theaters. It's coming out soon as a 35th anniversary fandom events release. The original Tron.
At a Tron birthday party.
Yeah.
I think I said it.
Yeah. You went into the full disclosure last time.
It was fun, man. It was at Mr. Gaddy's when I was little.
It's awesome. Rambo First Blood, which is a goddamn bloodbath. It's awesome.
Yeah, that was amazing.
48 Hours with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy.
My favorite Eddie Murphy.
If you haven't seen it, it's awesome. Tootsie, which is huge.
Bill Murray's the best part of that movie.
Yep. The Dark Crystal.
That's a good movie. That's a weird movie.
It is good. It's Jim Henson. It's classic. Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Love that movie. Except, if I've never disclosed this on here, I can't remember if I ever did or not. Bob Geldof, that portrays Roger Waters in that film, is accused. He's never been proven, but pretty sure he killed Michael Hutchins, the singer of NXS.
Oh, wow.
Because Michael Hutchins was fucking his wife.
That makes sense.
But they were separated. But there's a lot of people that believe Bob Geldof had him killed. But I'll tell you a reason to hate Bob Geldof, even if you're not an NXS fan, if you're a metal fan. If you look up any interview, you can probably find one right now.
Is he one of those like censor guys?
No, but he makes fun of anything related to metal. He thinks it's like the lowest form of art on the planet. Like he's an advocate for thinking that it's just garbage. Like any interview that you read there, you could find audio interview with him.
Here's the classic first episode here, if you will. That Creepshow is known for. This is the most iconic part of the whole movie. Is the "I Want My Cake" Father's Day episode, which is pretty cool. This is the thing that everybody knows about. Which for me, it was the meteor shit thing with Stephen King that always stuck out to me the most. But this one seems to be the thing everybody knows about is the "I Want My Cake" shit, which is really funny. Back to '82. Richard Pryor live on the Sunset Strip, one of the best stand-ups ever made.
Oh yeah,
nasty. It's just awesome. It's raunchy humor. Death Wish 2, Charles Bronson. The Beast Within. And you got Wes Craven's Swamp Thing, which is one of my favorites.
It's a good movie.
Love it. I used to watch the cartoon as a kid. I actually thought about that today. I was like, I remember watching that fucking cartoon, and I loved it. I saw the movie first, and then the cartoon was out in the 90s, and I loved every minute of it.
See what I've been doing lately, like when you and I play Friday the 13th.
Loving every minute of it, loving every
minute of it. When we play Friday the 13th, when I get done, I've been trying to get through all of. I bought every episode of the original Inspector Gadget. I've been watching.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I love that show.
It was really cheap. Actually,
it's awesome. It's good 90s stuff. Basket Case. We got Diner, which is with Daniel Stern. It's directed by Barry Levinson. It was Daniel Stern, Mickey Rourke, Kevin Bacon, Paul Reiser. The movie's really funny. It's a classic. So what else we got? 82. Friday the 13th Part 3. Got Cat People.
I love that movie.
The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
I love that movie.
Which is fucking
Burt
Dolly
Reynolds.
Parton and Burt Reynolds as Ed Earl Todd at the Chicken Ranch. It's a good movie.
It is.
The Beastmaster.
I love that. It's a Coscarelli.
It is Coscarelli.
Classic.
It's a Don Coscarelli. It's got Mark Singer. Rip Torn's in it too. Airplane 2, the sequel.
That's the one with Shatner in it.
Yep, Rocky 3, which was the Mr. T one.
I love that movie. Mr. T's such a butt, and it's great.
He is a butt.
But it's cool that he's such a butt. He's like ultra butt.
An Officer and a Gentleman, which is Richard Gere. Never liked him, but he was good in The Jackal. That's about the only thing I can do for him. And Amityville 2, The Possession.
See, I like Richard Gere. Richard Gere.
I like him in his action stuff. He doesn't really
hear
do
me
a
on
lot.
this.
He's
All
just
George
kind of a
Clooney
butt.
is a bad clone of Richard Gere. Richard Gere's actually a decent actor.
That's true, yeah. Oh, there's the
But you're right,
Where's
Richard
My
Gere's never really
Cake,
done a movie
Bedelia.
that I like. He's never done a movie that I'm
That's
into.
El Cuco Rancho right there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Where's
Give me
my
my
cake?
fucking cake.
It's just one of the best zombies, I think, in film. It's just really...
And Savini's
nasty.
makeup in this is brilliant. It
Yeah,
really
it is.
is. I'll give him all that. I mean, that's gory.
That's another
as
good
hell.
thing is Tales from the Dark Side, if you guys haven't watched that.
That's coming out
same
on Blu-ray,
kind of
by the
thing.
way. I've
Yeah.
delivered it, too.
I remember you got that big sexy DVD set too. Amityville 2, The Possession, which is our Steve Tucker episode. You check that out. That's one of our raunchiest episodes we've ever done. A lot of people don't like it. Steve Tucker was actually freaked out by that episode. But
I think it's funny.
it is funny.
But Trey loved it, so...
Yeah, as long as you impress Trey, that's all that matters. And last but not least, from 1982, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
A great film.
Which is approaching its 35th anniversary this year, this October. I think it came out October 28th, 1982. So, that's something to look forward to. Definitely stick around your TVs and the clock is ticking. So we also did a review on that already.
I forgot I've got a new phone. Will you put me into your Wi-Fi?
Yeah. You have the Crystal Lake there. We got
small technical difficulty.
So yeah, we had Sean Clark from Horror's Hollow Grounds on that episode. It's one of our early episodes, so definitely
that's one of my favorites we've done.
It is. It was awesome, and that was my first time really getting the editing down, and I had a lot of fun editing that episode. So
it's brilliant, the editing on that. I think
thank you. I appreciate that.
And that's one of my favorite guests, despite the fact that he hated me. Full disclosure on that, if anybody's listening to this, I'm a huge fan of Horror's Hollow Grounds, and I'm a big fan of Sean Clark, but he apparently just thinks I'm like toilet paper. So
he just likes to go poopy.
And I've got about as much luck at hanging out at a convention as Tootle does at getting some of his mom's liquid gold.
Where's the settings on here?
Pull the
on Android. It's been a long time.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Setting up the Phantasm net. Let's see if this is going to piss the doctor off. Oh, good. D. Gordon broke up the no-hitter with leadoff single. There you go.
Did you know he's one of the best base stealers in the league?
Yeah, he's a little shithead.
I love him.
He's good.
I'm telling you, if they had a pitcher, I think things will change for them. They just need a pitcher, man. They need some other stuff too, but they definitely need a pitcher. Because I think that catcher is a badass.
We took your closer from you.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I was just like, oh, they got the closer for the Marlins. That's weird.
What's his name?
JT, was it Ramos? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good, too.
Yeah.
You got some prospects that are really good, though, from him.
But you know who didn't get traded and everybody said he was going to? And I just want to tell everybody else that likes baseball that blow me, is Stanton was not moved.
Stanton will never get moved.
No, he's the face of that team.
He's the poster
boy. The Yankees thought they were going to get him for a bunch of draft picks, and Mattingly was like, no.
See, Don Mattingly, we'll go on baseball for a second. Don Mattingly is a very smart motherfucker, and he was the Dodgers coach before this.
I love him.
He's a fucking bastard in a good way, like the best way possible. Going back to this Blu-ray, the print for this is really awesome. Never seen this Blu-ray presentation before, and I gotta say, it looks great. He's got a giant bottle of Jim Beam, which, Miss Gore Christ and I have been on the Jim Beam train for a little while now, so I'm actually jumped onto the Seagram 7 train today.
And Toodle's on the liquid gold train.
And Toodle's on the liquid gold train.
He's like, give me a liquid gold, Mom. He looks funny.
Liquid gold is Velveeta.
That's liquid gold. Also.
Yeah, that's what they call it on the commercial.
No, it's chicken.
I know, but that's what they called it, the sauce that they put on it.
They stole that from Velveeta.
Yes, they did.
They could steal all
but
the
it's still funny
better.
to look at him and be like, I want the liquid gold, Mom. Because he's totally doing that.
He's like, I want to drink that honey mustard.
Earlier he was like, give me a bean burrito.
He's like, I want to drink that liquid gold.
It's funny.
I want my cake. It's pretty cool. You get like
and I want to mention this too because I think
an obelisk.
I think you'll be excited about this.
Ed Harris head crush. Have a good night.
I think this is awesome because you and I both hate anything related with UT football.
Yeah.
Well, this is really funny if you've not heard about
Where's
this.
my cake?
Because I think this is worth mentioning because I think it's fucking hilarious.
I want it. It's mine.
For like 2 years now, all these UT fans were like, we're gonna get what's his name? I'll have to look it up.
Some guy. Is it a prospect or is it
No, hold on.
That is Galen Ross right there. She does not look like that now.
Pulling it up because you're going to be interested in this if you've not heard about it because it's actually really funny.
I haven't been keeping up with football yet. It's too soon for that.
Well, you're going to like this because this is actually okay. So
Actually,
the other day on sports radio, I was listening to John Gruden told the people and fans of East Tennessee that he will never coach their team.
Who's that?
He won a Super Bowl with the Bucks. John Gruden, he's an ESPN commentator. He's a badass. He's a football coach.
Huh.
And the Eagles are getting ready to bring him back.
That's funny.
Because the last time he was in the league, he won a Super Bowl. And nobody wants him to come back and coach because he's a beast. But what's awesome is he was just like, yeah, I'm never coaching your team.
Yeah.
They don't have the money to pay John Gruden.
That's what I'm saying. It's rare that a pro coach goes to college. They don't pay him half.
But anyway, I love John Gruden because he's just arrogant and he curb stomped whoever he played against, and the Raiders fired him, and the next year he went to the Buccaneers and won a Super Bowl. But that's why I like him.
This is me if I don't get my ice cream cake for my birthday, my Carvel cake.
That's fine.
I'm just like, I want my cake. Where is it? It's mine.
This will be real quick. The albums of '82. It's real small. Aldo Nova, which is a Canadian like pop hard rock guitarist that I love.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I like it.
That's good.
UFO Mechanics, Anvil Metal and Metal, which is probably their most popular record.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne's Speak of the Devil, the live record after Randy Rhoads died, that has Brad Gillis from Night Ranger on it. Saxon, The Eagle Has Landed. Aerosmith, Rockin' a Hard Place. The Extraterrestrial Live from Blue Oyster Cult. Tigers of Pantang, The Cage.
Satan's not in the bedroom.
Michael Schenker Group, Assault Attack.
So she must be.
She's not in there.
Whitesnake, Saints and Sinners. Rainbow Straight Between the Eyes, which I love. That's the first album that featured...
Yeah, she is.
Oh, what's his name? I'm trying to remember his name. Anyway, I can't remember his name. Diamond Head Borrowed Time, which is my favorite album from them. Black Sabbath Live Evil. Judas Priest Screaming for Vengeance.
There it is.
Van Halen Diver Down.
I got my
Creatures of the Night from Kiss. Black Metal from Venom. Twisted Sister Under the Blade. Iron Maiden Number of the Beast. Even though I think that record's a turd. Scorpions Blackout.
Oh yeah.
And then the last two, the best two.
Thanks.
Accept, Restless and Wild, and Motorhead Iron Fist.
Boom.
That's it. There's not much
great records. A lot of good new wave British heavy metal stuff.
There's some other stuff on here that people probably would want me to mention, like
here's Stephen King right here.
Like Metallica, No Love Till Leather, but I don't really care about Metallica because I think they suck. So even though I saw them in Clipper and I don't like them.
Holy shit, Jesus! This is one of the best cameos, I think. This is Stephen King. I think it's hysterical.
What was his role exactly for this?
I think he was a writer, more or less.
Well, I saw a pretty heartfelt, unlike Carpenter's response to George dying. Stephen King actually put a really nice thing on his page about George.
Sure.
You mentioned Eli Roth earlier. I wanted to talk about him a minute. I think he's got to be the biggest hack in horror. I don't like any of his movies, and I watch them. I watched that Knock Knock thing he did with Keanu Reeves. It's one of the worst films I've ever seen.
What's that one?
These two girls act like their cars broke down, and in reality, they've been spying on Keanu Reeves for like months. And anyway, they go in the house, and then they act like they need to take a shower. Next thing you know, he has a three-way with them.
Huh.
And then one of them pretends they're pregnant, and the other one says she's pregnant, and then they just come to his house and kill him. After they extort him for money. It's the most unimaginative piece of shit I've ever seen in my life.
Sounds
and Eli
like a
Roth,
nightmare.
If you ever go to Eli Roth's page on Facebook, all he does is suck his own dick.
Mm-hmm.
He also makes fun of a lot of directors that I like.
Huh.
And when George Romero died, he put this picture up of him wearing a Blade 2 shirt, which has got to be one of the worst films I've ever seen. And he's wearing a Blade 2 shirt at like a convention. He looks like this frat guy, but yet everybody thinks he's like this horror god. I don't think anything he's ever done is good. I don't like any of his movies. To come from researching it, Hostel was nothing but a Saw ripoff.
Well, yeah, it came around that time.
So there's nothing the guy's ever done that's original. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a has-been.
So
And honestly,
Fever,
another thing I don't
really
like
gross.
about him, I don't know what his obsession is with Shark Week and doing all this Shark Week stuff, but it's like, who cares? Who cares about Shark Week? I don't.
I like Jaws, that's about it.
Well, I like Jaws too, but...
I don't need it to be Shark Week to watch it.
Oh, and one other thing I want to talk about real quick that makes me want to puke besides Eli Roth is that new Steven Spielberg film looks like the most arrogant film I think ever made.
My Ready Player Dump.
Yeah. And for some
Which
reason,
it's like
everybody
Freddy Krueger's in it and the DeLorean's in it. And
everybody keeps just acting like I would just love this film. Well, I've got news for you. You don't know me very well if you actually think I would love that movie.
yeah, I don't...
And by the way, there are a lot of people out there that think Steven Spielberg wrote and directed the Back to the Future films. It was Robert Zemeckis. Spielberg did nothing but fund the first
He
film.
executive produced it.
Yeah,
That's not even
which means
producing, it's
nothing.
executive
It
producing.
means nothing.
He put his name on it so it'd sell even more.
Yeah. Well, he put his name on it because he believed in it would make money. He just made money off of it, that's all he did.
And, stamped, he got to put Jaws in there and his little likenesses, but that's about it. Robert Zemeckis did it with Dean Cundey.
Right.
End of story.
But,
And fucking Huey Lewis in the news.
But yeah, that movie just looks terrible. Another thing I went and saw, just to let everybody know that I go to the movies a lot. I try to give stuff a chance. That Atomic Blonde film is one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life.
I didn't like it from the get-go because the way that they're describing it is too much. There's like, finally a female answer to James Bond.
Yeah.
It's like there's been a million of those movies that were actually good.
Well,
this one's just... Now there's Haku
the
on
reality
TV.
is, and this isn't a sexist
fucking Haku
comment,
and
this is just the reality of it. There is no female answer to James Bond. James Bond's James Bond. That's it.
Yeah.
And James Bond is not gay or bi or black or whatever they're trying to do with that character. They're just going to ruin it.
Yeah.
I wish they'd just leave it alone. And Daniel Craig sucked as James Bond. I fucking hate him.
Yeah.
I've never liked him. That last film was a good film, but the other films I thought were garbage.
You know what I think it is? Because I kept trying to put my finger on it. It's like something's just not selling me with all that. I think he's just too quiet, if that makes sense.
Who?
Daniel Craig.
People
His
love
demeanor
it.
is quiet.
People love it.
See, if you
We're
look
the
at
odd men out on that. People love that guy.
If you look at everybody else, which I love the Ripple brand, Ripple Red, I think that's funny. I don't know. I tried to put my finger on it. I was like, he's just quiet, and his demeanor is not like suave. It's just like he's like this quiet dude that's got a lot of demons.
Did I ever tell you what those movies are?
But if you look at
all they are the Jason Bourne films with Daniel Craig.
Yeah, it's like,
which I don't like.
You got Roger Moore and Timothy Dalton and even George Lazenby. They, of course Sean Connery, but it's like all of them have that suave, like they're unrelatable.
Right.
You're like vicariously living through somebody you could never be. Daniel Craig feels too like realistic as a person.
It's too grounded.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
He's way too human. James Bond is supposed to not only be a fucking double agent, he's also supposed to be, like just like a symbol for what men always want to be. Is like that dude.
And I'm not
I've never wanted to be Daniel Craig because his demeanor is just too relatable.
But that movie,
I don't want to. You're not supposed to relate to James Bond.
Right.
You're supposed to be like, God, this guy's fucking awesome. Like, I wish I could be this guy.
Here's the thing with that Atomic Blonde film. The entire soundtrack's 80s. That Tyler Bates guy, which I generally like, did the music for it. And it starts out pretty good, and then they're just trying to over-explain everything. And I hate the actor that's the counterpart in that film.
What?
It's that idiot that's in that Split movie, and he plays the young Charles Xavier.
James McAvoy?
I hate him.
He's never sold me on anything.
I hate him. I don't not like him. I hate him.
Like I said, I'm picky about actors, and he's never sold me on anything.
I didn't know he was in it. Anyway, I went with a friend because there's a friend of mine who just likes to go to the movies, and Taro, if you're listening, that's you. But it's fun. It's just the movie seriously is the worst thing I've seen all year. It was the Assassin's Creed of last year.
It just looked like it was too much.
It was just really bad.
Or not enough. It just seemed like a dud because
it was a dud.
Anything that's like over, like whenever you can tell that whoever's putting it out is like overselling it, you know, they were way overselling that film, and I knew it wasn't going to deliver because they're just saying too much about it in the reviews. They're like, this is the best thing since the best thing that ever came out. It's like, I don't buy that. And previews like that, where they're purposely trying to shove it down my throat, like, go see this, you must see this movie, that makes me not want to go see it. And there's nothing about that movie that makes me, you know, want to go see it anyway. But people like force feeding me stuff, that makes me just irate. I don't even want to pay for it. And that movie was one of those things where it's like, you have to see this movie. It's the James Bond of James Bond. You know?
There's a lot of stuff like that. You know, I mean, every trailer that was in front of that film looked awful. And I don't know why people continually like to try to sell me on something. I want to talk about a film that I watched today for the first time. And I wanted to just let you know what a piece of garbage I thought it was.
What's that?
I'm going to get to that in a second. I thought I had seen Pretentious. And this movie, not only, and I want to be real specific with you about this.
Okay.
Not only could I literally find people and just ask them if they like this movie or not, and it would let me know that I needed to visit their home later with a nail gun, wearing a ski mask. I want to let you know that this...
Isn't that how you visit people's homes anyway?
This film was... Yeah, well, that's true. This film is almost 10 years old.
Uh-huh.
And I had always heard... It was on Epix Drive-In this morning. And... Which is Epix... is just great. Epix Drive-In's like their horror part of their
sure.
network. But it's actually great because all that stuff's uncut. It's amazing. But I watched it just because I'd always heard all this hype. And I won't tell you from who... But I will tell you when we're not recording because I'm not going to give this guy 1 ounce of credit. But I'm just going to be surprised if you or Alexis or maybe that couple that you go to these horror conventions with love this movie, because it seems like everybody I meet just loves this film. I mean, that Repo, the Genetic Opera, I thought it was a piece of shit.
You don't like that movie?
I thought it was offensive.
I like it.
And I thought it was a piece of shit.
I like that movie.
I literally want to find that creator and visit him with a nail gun.
It's Darren Lynn Bousman, the guy that does he did a bunch of the Saw movies.
I couldn't deal with it, man.
It's not something I can watch all the time.
It's the
a
dividing line with me with people.
Yeah.
It's a dividing line. And I've never heard you say one way or the other if you liked it or not, but every single person that I've ever met that liked that, it literally told me everything I needed to know about them. It's just like having a black mark on you for me. It's just it's a death note.
I like that director. I guess is what it comes down to.
I don't know what else he's done. My phone's dead, but
he did mainly the Saw movies. I think are really his claim to fame is what he did.
I just couldn't deal with it.
Like that third Saw movie was the one he directed.
People just love that movie, and I don't get it.
I get what you're saying, because like the audience that primarily thinks that's like the best movie ever made.
It's a goth audience.
Or like Rob Zombie fans.
Oh, it is.
That like, you know.
Well, I was going to say...
those Halloween films.
I can't say his name,
yeah.
but he was obsessed with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Your brother knows his sister. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I like that movie. I wouldn't even really call it a movie. It's like
it's a musical.
It's a musical.
But it was the most obnoxious thing. And I tried, man. But I just was like, maybe I'm just old, I just don't get it.
What I was saying, when I watched it when I was younger, I really liked it. I still kind of like it. You know, some of the songs in it are alright. But going back and watching it like right now, I couldn't do it. Like, I'd have to skip through a lot of the songs, only listen to like a couple.
Well, let me ask you this a second. Let's see if I'm pinpointing this right. How many people do you know that I know that I don't love that movie? Am I right? Is it me visiting with him with a ski mask and a nail gun?
I'd say so, yeah. But, you know, it's not a masterpiece or anything, but, you know, it's fun.
Ooh. There's no more chicken, but it's...
That's fine.
Potato
Thanks.
wedges and a biscuit.
Thank you. You even saved a pickle for me.
There's a whole jar of pickles.
I don't know, but that's...
But I tried, you know. Yeah. I tried to watch it, and I tried to get into it, but I just don't.
It's not something you have to try. You just have to like it or you don't. There's no way of trying to like it.
Here's the thing with me. Musicals, with me, is not something I generally like.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't like that. There's no way.
Yeah, and I, you know...
He's trying to put the shock. That was you watching Repo.
But what hurts my feelings about it is that people would actually think that I would like that.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand it because there's absolutely nothing in that movie that, you know, screams me.
Yeah, it's more.
Even Julia was like, I knew you would like that. Why did you watch it?
Yeah.
No, that Repo genetic opera thing. I can't deal with it.
Not something I would call you up and be like, hey, man, check it out.
I can't imagine you liking it at all.
It actually offended me. It was so hipstery. I couldn't. It's like if you've seen the movie Scott Pilgrim, that's another one that makes me want to vomit. That movie seriously makes me want to throw up. Because here's my problem with movies like that. 90% of the people that like those movies, they probably never even watched it. They just own it because it has to look cool with their denim vest or their, you know, their black lipstick or whatever they're into. I just can't deal with it. And I don't know why I watched it. It literally had just started. I was like, you know, I'm going to watch this, and I did. And then
that's another one of those things. I would never be like, hey, doctor, check out Scott Pilgrim. It's just something I know you wouldn't like. I know the shit you like, and that would not be...
That movie offended me, actually. Scott Pilgrim, actually. That Repo genetic opera thing didn't offend me. The Scott Pilgrim thing actually offended me.
It offended you?
Yeah, because I think I can just imagine the director just jerking off in his apartment because he thinks he's so hip and cool. I hate that movie. That movie, ugh.
You love the director anyway. That's your favorite.
Like
Who is that?
Edgar Wright, that directed Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, yeah, I hate that fucking... I hate anything with that piece of shit in it. What's his name?
Simon Pegg.
I hate him. He needs to be fucking cut in half. He does. He seriously... Did you know George Romero actually was like that movie's a piece of shit?
Oh yeah, it's like a parody of his music.
That fat Brit that's in those movies with him. I can't... I'd rather blow my brains out than watch that stuff.
I like those movies a lot.
I can't do it.
Like, World's End's my favorite.
I can't. I've never watched that, but I can't.
That's funny. That's more your stuff. You don't like... He's not a British humor fan.
I hate Simon Pegg for about 1 million different reasons, but yeah, I couldn't do the... I tried to watch that Repo genetic opera thing. I don't understand it, and I didn't understand why anybody would want to watch or own that film. And it's kind of like the same audience that likes Marilyn Manson and listens to Rob Zombie and watches his shitty movies. Because Rob Zombie's a fucking hack too. If it wasn't for his music career, he would have never had a directing career. If that offends you, that's the reality of it. You can look it up. Stanley Kubrick wasn't a fucking dreaded douchebag and then decided to make films. Stanley Kubrick was actually an artist, and then, you know, his art speaks for itself. It's timeless. Rob Zombie's movies are not timeless. They're pieces of garbage, but they're not timeless. They need a quick tie on them, like a garbage bag, but that's about it. But yeah, I've never liked that stuff. I don't like anything about it. It literally is served in the same toilet as that Repo genetic opera. Any of Rob Zombie's films are served in the same sewer. And it's, you know, it would be like if Marilyn Manson made a film. I definitely wouldn't be tuning into that, you know. And if that's your thing and you think those people are talented and stuff, you probably should just press stop on your on your mobile device you're listening to this on, because I'm just going to go a little bit further with it. But
my whole thing.
Rob Zombie's never, even that 31. He's never done a good movie. And I was just saying this on here, and I'll say it before. I'll tell him to his face. He has his movie career because of his music career. He's a hack, and he thinks he's Stanley Kubrick, and he's not. And I had more respect for John Carpenter when John Carpenter was like, "Fuck that guy" and "fuck him" and everything. And the next thing you know, even though I never saw the two of them make up, they act like they did. Even though I never saw any reconciliation between the two. I have more respect for John if he really did tell him to go fuck himself.
He did. He said he ripped off my movies and he's a piece of shit. Mainly because he did that second film, because they never agreed he would do a sequel. And Rob Zombie even said, because I was mad about it, because they made that first Halloween movie and I hated it.
Oh, it's awful.
And then, because I was, semi a fan of his music at the time. And, after the first one, he swore, he was like, I'm not making a sequel to this. That's, wrong. I'm not cashing on it. Then, like, a year and a half goes by, and they're like, oh, Rob Zombie started production on Halloween.
It wasn't even that long. He cashed in on it real quick. Those things were almost back to back.
You know why? It's because he was offered a lot of money. And he even admitted to it.
Well,
he said
that tells you how much talent he has.
He was like, I'm never making another sequel. It's sacrilege to do a sequel on Halloween. I just wanted to put my stamp on it and make my own version of it one time. And then he goes and makes a sequel because the studio offered him more money than he thought he would get for it. Because the first one made so much, because people are stupid, that he went and made another movie. Which is really, really bad. They make,
That's Ted Danson. I love him.
Yeah, he is awesome. And Leslie Nielsen's awesome, too.
He is.
They make... They have that Tyler Mane dude as him, and as Michael Myers, and they make him look like Zach Wildkiller. It's just really dumb.
Well, I want to tie into what you're talking about here. This actually goes along the same thing.
Yes, Satan?
The reason that I hate Bill Moseley is because he's in so many pieces of shit.
He's in more pieces of shit than I was. He's a B-movie actor. I mean,
no, but he's in a lot of stroke yourself off in the mirror movies.
Well, he's never been a big role in anything. The biggest roles he's ever done were those Rob Zombie movies.
He's in that Repo thing quite a bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but that's because he's...
the really thing that was heartbreaking to me, people thought because, and I have a valid point with this, people thought because I'm a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan that I would just love that the guy that plays Giles is in that film and that I would just love that.
Is he the father?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my favorite character in that movie.
I love him, but not in that.
I liked him in that because he's the actual Repo Man. I think it's cool.
But do you see what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's not...
But the thing itself, it's musical. I mean, I only like so many musicals, and that's one of them.
I mean, I don't like that Cannibal the musical thing that the South Park guys did. I
never watched that one.
I don't like any of that kind of stuff. I just, And
there's one that Mrs. Gorechrist almost shot me in the face over was the Dr. Horrible's Terrible Sing-Along. She was like, why? She was like, what in the fuck are you watching? Her, who likes actual musicals and stuff like that. It's that movie that it's the musical Joss Whedon made with Neil Patrick Harris. I love that fucking musical. It's hilarious. It's like a blog, it's whatever. It's like a blog.
I know what you're talking about.
And it's funny, but
I've seen it.
I showed it to her, and she was like, seriously, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, you don't like Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog? And she's like, this is really like the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
I don't like Neil Patrick Harris, so that's a whole...
I do. I like it. But I thought it was good. And the Repo thing is, again, like, most of it's annoying. I don't like Alexis Vega, or whatever her name is, the chick from Spy Kids. I can't handle any of that music. I always skip through her music and Paris Hilton's in it, and that's really lame.
And Bill Moseley's in it, and that's really lame. He's lame. I mean, my overall opinion of that guy just gets lower and lower. It's like no wonder you're at every convention because you got to cash on your, new 16, your brand new 16, 17-year-old goth girls that stole their parents' credit card to come down here to meet you to get them to sign a Repo thing so they can go home and get stoned and watch that because they think they're cool.
See, I have
and then let wheelchair fucker face fuck them.
I have one Repo print in this apartment. Do you know where it is?
I don't. I'm sure I could probably find it. Do you want me to look for it?
Yeah.
Is it up on the wall?
Yeah. It's close. You're like kind of looking at it.
Oh, okay. That Paul Largo thing.
Yeah, that's Ogre from Skinny Puppy.
Oh, I didn't know he was in it.
Yeah, that's Bill Moseley's brother in the film. It's Pobby.
I remember seeing him. I didn't know that was him. That's crazy.
He wears other people's faces in the film. He's like, Luigi is Bill Moseley, and he's Pobby. He's like the guy that's always looking in the mirror at himself because he wears other people's faces. Yeah. He's my other favorite character.
I mean, look,
but you know,
it again. It feels
I
like
get it. It's one of those audience things where the audience ruins the whole movie, and it's not that great of a movie anyway. It's got some really good songs in it.
Well, I want to actually go somewhere with this. It's the reason that I don't attend stuff.
Yeah,
I don't like what everybody else likes.
Yeah,
and I'm not. There's certain things that I like that other people do like, but
I'll tell you this: Repo's one of those things that most people don't watch. They just obsess over talking about it if it's brought up. You know what I mean? Like, most people aren't just sitting there jacking off about Repo, but if somebody brings it up, they're just like, oh my god, Repo. And they're like, oh my god, I know. It's one of those things. But
I chalk it up to
Ted Danson's getting
I chalk it up to the same thing as I do, when we go to shows and there's guys there in denim vests. It's what I think of the same people. Honestly, but I'm being honest with you. And that's not a shot at you or anything, but it's like my opinion of people that are into that stuff is really low. Because to me, it has, like me, this is hip written all over it.
Yeah.
And it's the reason I don't attend stuff and have any interest in. For example, tonight, that guy that comes in your pawn shop, I saw him and he's sitting there talking to me. You can go to this con, you go to this con, this con. I was like, I don't do that.
Who is it?
The one you said comes into your job, Riz, that comes into your job.
Oh yeah,
I've never told him about that, but he's sitting there asking me to go to this con and do this con. So I was like, I'm never doing that again. I'm never stepping foot in Fanboy again. I'm never stepping foot in any convention that I don't choose to go to personally, because there's too many people there like that, and that whole cosplay thing. Which I won't get into that. I've done it before in a different episode, but it's just not for me.
Yeah.
Because what I really want to do is kill all those people. Like, I literally want to pour napalm on them and light them.
The doctor's very reclusive, and he works, third, fourth shift. So
I just don't. And it's. You look, and I'll go out on here in a million levels. It's the reason I'm single. It's the reason that I have such a nasty attitude. It's the reason that. Well, whatever. You know what? I'm not a fake though. I'm not a fraud, and I'm not on Kickstarter begging for money to make films for me, even though I'm rich.
Yeah.
Like Rob Zombie, but I see through that stuff. And people, if you can't see through a fake, And Bill Moseley, as far as an actor, he's as big a has-been as Sid Haig and Rob Zombie. They're all three has-beens. They should just make a movie called Has-Beens, where it's them he should film them sitting there taking people's money at a convention for $20 a pop, or 30 or 40, whatever they charge. But whatever. It's neither here nor there. It's just I think it's sad. Yeah, both of those guys, Leslie and Ted, those guys are great. And Ted Danson, I'm a huge fan of the show Becker that he did. I love that show. It's out on DVD. They put all of it out together, and I can't ever seem to muster up $40-something to go get it. Like, it's every episode of it, and I love that show. And it's not in syndication anymore, so I can't watch it.
Right.
But I love Ted Danson. I didn't like him in Cheers, but now I love Becker. I don't know why.
See, I like Cheers here and there.
I couldn't do it.
It was always on.
I like Woody Harrelson from Cheers, and I like him, but I couldn't get into the show. Yeah.
Because I would just watch it because
it's
it was
just
on.
a Boston bunch of drunk people.
I watched it because it was on, more or less, but I always liked him in it. Because the show itself was just kind of like, I thought it was cool that Leslie Nielsen's like a fucking psycho in this. It's so funny. Got the naked guy.
But no, it's the same guy that you see him at metal shows. They just put their fresh shirt on that they bought at the show, and they're walking around in it, and they're texting. He's got a dip in and a beer. It's the same people that Repo Man. If they're into that, then they went and bought it. They've never seen it. They just I got a T-shirt, and I don't know how to explain it where it makes sense, but it's just
if you're cynical people like us that are really true to ourselves, then
It's
you can
just
kind of see the thin line between.
It's just a nauseating
certain people and other
fad,
people.
and it's with anything. I mean, you could do it with lots of stuff. I don't have a hard on to burn for that Repo the Genetic Opera. I just didn't like it, but it's more of, you know.
I see what you're saying. It's an
I don't know if
audience.
it makes
It's an
sense, I
audience
don't know.
thing, and I totally get it because there's a lot of things that I love that are tarnished by the audience itself, and Repo's one of those things. You know, House of a Thousand Corpses, which I really like, is tarnished by the audience and the people that don't appreciate real horror movies. They just like gothic bullshit and Rob Zombie, and that's the only horror movie they've ever seen.
And Marlon Manson.
But suddenly they're like horror aficionados, and they get to have their own podcast and talk about Rob Zombie all day. But you know, it's like I genuinely like that stuff, but you know, I'm not taken seriously.
Speaking of this scene, there's this whole movie. Actually, I watched a video. I guess Black Dahlia Murder did a whole.
They did. It's called When Everything Went Black.
It's just funny,
and it's off their Nocturnal record. They're performing in full on the Summer Slaughter tour.
It's
so
hilarious.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, this the video.
I was going to tell you about that. I didn't think you would. If you're, you know,
couldn't get into the song, but I thought the video was.
It's from When Everything Went Black. It's off that Nocturnal record, and they do a whole Creepshow thing.
Yeah,
where
I'll watch
Brian is Ted Danson in the.
Yeah, I watched
where he's buried, and I think Trevor puts him in the dirt. He's the Leslie Nielsen.
I mean, it's cool. It's cool that they like all that stuff or whatever. But it was just like, again, the tunes I just couldn't do it.
But yeah, you know, certain audiences ruin certain things because it gets so common, and I don't know.
Well, yeah, there's nothing special to me about something that's
like Star Wars. I mean, I regret. I mean, I don't regret it, but I do getting it tattooed on me because that's all people want to. They're like, "Is that Star Wars, man?" It's like automatically this conversation's gone nowhere because you're asking me something you know the answer to, which tells me you're a shithole fan that doesn't actually like the movies. You're just like trying to be cool, which is what a lot of people do. They're just like, you know, everybody knows this kind of person where they're Captain Obvious, where they ask questions that they know the answer to sound like they're what's the word I'm looking for? They want to sound like they're knowledgeable about it by just asking.
They're pseudo-intellectuals is what they are.
Yeah, they're like, "Is that TIE Fighters, dude?" And they're like, "Yeah." Like, man, I love Star Trek Wars, man. It's like, all right.
Well, you know, it's the same type thing, and I'll take this Repo Genetic Opera thing into it.
Those are the people wearing the vests at the shows. Those
are
the people going to conventions paying $1 million.
These are also the women that are on the internet that are looking for a baby daddy because they wanted some kind of life fulfillment of some guy they knew they couldn't keep around, and they let them fill their cooter.
I just want him to watch the Repo Genetic Opera.
But all they really wanted was they wanted to be with him forever. But all they did was cream their cooter and give them kids, and then they
then he took off to go to a local mental shop.
There's some picture of them with their 3 stupid kids, and it's like blessed. Mm-hmm. It's just like, you know what that says to me? Ruined.
Yeah.
It says used. Should have a used sticker on their forehead. But I don't know, man. I have a really morbid and fucked up way of looking at things. I just don't, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. But I just don't.
Well, if you're an actual fan of horror and extreme music, then that's the way your mentality truly is. You can be the party guy, or the know-it-all hipster guy all you want, but in reality, we're all sick fucks that hate everything. You know, a lot of people just rather be the vegan dude that's like, just have a craft beer, man. Let's just go watch 38. Let's just go watch Repo and calm down. Let's just calm your. You know what? Let's just calm your jets, dude. Let's just go have a craft beer and go watch Fear the Walking Dead.
See, and I want to say this too. The worst response with me. This is for me over the years. Is when people would be like, you know, I don't like him, and he's wired, or he freaks me out, and all this other stuff. Well, what it makes me want to do is show up, crucify him to one of their walls with my nail gun, and just sit there and watch them bleed and have them explain to me what's wrong with me, and then I kill them. Like, I have so many ideas for a really brutal, nasty horror movie, and And that's one of them is my nail gun killer guy.
The nail gun killer.
Which would be me. I would actually play my own part.
A nail gun massacre.
I'd play my own, role in the film. But I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of cancers in Hollywood. I think Eli Roth and Steven Spielberg, and Steven Spielberg didn't used to be, but he is now. And then J.J. Abrams, any of that stuff is just sewage. I'm not interested in any of that. And when people try to get me to watch new and modern things that they're interested in, generally my response is no. Or I just laugh at them. I'd rather spend 6 hours on that Friday the 13th game. Even though the creators of that rockstarred me, I would still rather spend 6 hours on that game playing it than to, indulge in something like taking acid and watching, a Rob Zombie Halloween film and then porking some girl and shooting her full of seed and having a kid with her, and then working at a cell phone shop and acting like you're hot shit. That's just my opinion and my take on stuff. And
anybody in particular? Or?
What?
You just nailed the demographic there.
Well, it seems to be anyone that I come into contact with that I don't know. It seems like they're looking for things that in my eyes to me are commonplace and boring.
Yeah.
For me to ever end up with anybody seriously, I would have to find someone as unique as I am. Because people can say whatever they want about me. I'm one of a kind. When I'm dead, that's it. I'm my own thing. I do my own thing. They broke the mold with me.
Right.
I mean, seriously, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but it's true. The more and more people that I meet, the more and more I realize that there is no independent thought. And people can say whatever they want about me, but, you can say I'm too loud or you can say I'm whatever, but, the reality of it is, if someone thinks I'm too loud that's listening to this, like that piece of garbage that was on, YouTube, you can go fuck yourself. I'll come in my house with a nail gun with a ski mask on. You're not going to stop me. That's how I do things. That's how I get results. But
it can also be Leslie Nielsen taking a shower. He's about to get psychoed here.
But do you know what I mean? It's. Yeah, I look for originality in things, and unfortunately, sometimes you run into a wall with people. Because I set the bar pretty high for people that I have respect for, and then when you meet them, like Bill of Decrepit Birth, he turned out to be a shithead. I mean, what are you going to do? I still like the band, but the guy turned out to be a prick. In fact, when we were leaving, I wanted to have Wheelchair Fucker just run him over. Or me visit him with the nail gun and the ski mask. But you couldn't do that because he's homeless, so I just have to visit him on the street with the, Punisher style, because he's a fucking homeless piece of puke. But, whatever. When people disrespect me, I don't tend to it very well. If you've got the balls to do it, then you better be ready to catch it back tenfold. I feel like I'm pretty calm and quiet right now. I'm trying to hold it together for the misses, but yeah, I don't play well with others, and I can see through people within 2.5 minutes of talking to them. It doesn't take me long to figure whether or not I have something in common with somebody or not, or if I feel like they're a genuinely, a good person. Which is, half the time, I don't really get that vibe off people. So. But, whatever. It's, I've made a lot of poor decisions with things that I've done in life, but the best advice I can give people out there is you just continually stick with what you're into and try to let the things that make you happy lead you. You have to have something that makes you happy to help you, aspire to live for. These people getting murdered or killing themselves or whatever they're doing, I think if you have something that inspires you, that keeps you motivated, that you can keep your eyes on the prize instead of worrying about what's going on around you, if that makes any sense.
Right. There's some nasty looking zombies.
This movie's great.
This is common ground. This is great cinema.
Yeah, and this
It's just
movie's
fun.
great. It's comic booky, but it's fun, but it's cool.
Yeah.
But you know, George wasn't sitting around with a vibrator on his dick like a clit and acting like he was Mr. Hot Shit when he made this. He just wanted to make something cool.
Yeah.
It was creative and interesting. He wasn't common and boring.
He wasn't like, I want to do a throwback to the thing.
Right.
Which is what everyone does. Every movie now, it's like somehow it's just like, I want to do a throwback to the thong.
Well, you know what I don't understand, and I love that movie, but I really do.
I do too.
But I'll tell you what you're right about that. It seems like that's the when
It turned into like now all of a sudden everybody that wears a vest that, you know, says they're a horror fan, like now that's their favorite movie out of nowhere. Like nobody ever said a word about the thing. They're just like, what's that? And then now
you're right. It seems like it's another one. It's like John Carpenter only did one film to these people. He did The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Russell only acted in one film. It was The Thing. You know.
Yeah. And who's Keith David? Oh,
yeah.
They don't even make the connection of Wilford Brimley was.
Oh, and I want to do a
diabetes guy.
A review of something. The only reason that you should buy those John Carpenter steelbooks is if you don't already own them.
Other than that, you're
because
just buying
the print, it's the exact same print. It has a different colored disc that matches the print. If you don't own them, I think it's a great investment. For me, it's a waste of money. If I found it used, then I'll probably buy it. But I'm not paying $27 for a steelbook of a film I already own.
Was They Live just one disc, or was that a Blu-ray DVD combo?
One disc.
No, for the original one.
One disc.
Okay, so they're doing it the same. Because the only one of those that's 2 disc is the Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Because it comes with both.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're paying for
Well, no, it's 2 Blu-rays. One's the special features.
Oh.
It's not a DVD.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I will.
And look, man, I love The Fog. And if I got one, that would be the one I wanted.
Yeah, that's the coolest.
Like, if you were going to buy me one, I don't know if you... I'm just playing devil's advocate. The Fog is the one I would...
That's the one I wanted to get. It's got the best artwork on it. But I really wanted to watch Escape from New York. So I just went ahead and bought the steelbook, so I don't have it.
No, dude, you don't have it, though.
Yeah.
I'm telling
That's
you...
what I'm saying.
I'm telling you and any other fan of those movies, you know, you should definitely look into doing that.
Yeah.
But you should do it. It's not worth double dipping for $30.
Well, here's the other thing. For me, the reason
I
reason I didn't buy the They Live ones, I love that movie. I don't like the art for it. I like the art that came with the original collector's edition from Scream Factory.
Which is out of print.
Yeah, but I love that artwork.
It's actually at right now.
Really?
Yep.
I really like that artwork a lot.
Near Dark's down there, too.
The one at the West Town one? I didn't need to go there. So yeah, I really like the artwork for that. The Fog, that steelbook looks badass. Even if I own that, I would still go buy that.
Not for $30, man. Amazon's going to have them for $20. It's like, I can't.
That's where I got it from, was Amazon.
Well, that's smart.
It was like $24.
I mean, although you get some kind of like really nice thing if you
lithograph. Yeah, if you get it from Scream Factory, you get like a lithograph.
Again,
but I have nowhere to put that.
But see, but now Lawnmower Man, I splurged on that.
The artwork for those steelbooks aren't that great. I just like that they are steelbooks. They're limited. They won't be around very long.
NECA's Chucky that's coming out is the most beautiful figure they've ever made.
That looks awesome.
It's bought. I'm buying 2 of them. I'm going to open and play with one of them, and I'm going to leave the other one sealed. But it's in the box. It's like the...
What's coming soon is the 7-film Chucky collection, which looks awesome. It's got the good guy doll, packaging, cover art. It looks really neat. Kind of how they did with the additional slip covers they were doing with Child's Play. They had.
Did we give Child's Play to somebody, or did we?
Tobias and Anders from
they didn't
Cut Up. Cut Up. Yeah.
That's just my thoughts on that.
That was fun, though. We had a good time with that episode, and the interview was fun. Yeah, that was a good time. It was rightful for the interview itself, I think. It was actually had fun with those guys. Child's Play is a fun movie. Honestly, I would like to do part 2 or 3 as well, because those movies are great. They're good sequels. The third one's, that's the one where he's in the boot camp. I think that one's not as good at first, but it gets really good.
I like all of them.
The second one's nasty because that's the one where they're in the factory, and
it's good.
He's actually scary in that film. That's like the scariest Chucky is in the second.
But I'm telling you, I like all of those movies.
It's like the same with the second Nightmare on Elm Street. That's whenever Freddy's the scariest in part 2. He's just raunchy, and then
that Ultimate Freddy they're doing from part 2 looks cool too. That I posted.
It looks crazy. I think those two are great sequels, and they really not only just made sequels, but they made their characters that much more badass. So
I can see that.
Like Freddy was a lot more mean and scary looking, and then Chucky in the second one was just there was more kills.
I don't know, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies to me, anything past part 4 is shit.
I didn't even watch it past part 4. Like that Freddy's Revenge thing sucks so bad. It's like a steaming pile.
Oh,
so
it's
is
so
that what is that New Nightmare?
Well, that fifth, that one's terrible too. That
it's
reality
like the real
show.
life one.
Yeah,
they try to. Wes Craven had some like Scream hard on, so he wanted to make that.
No, I totally agree with you. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Because that's where I don't know if that was. I think that was before Scream. That was like the basis.
Look that up. I don't know.
That was like the basis for him making Scream. Was like, what if we do like a parody, but it's like serious and it's.
It was like a reality show.
Yeah, but Scream was the same way. It's like, it's a movie in a movie. It's like a book and a movie in a movie. That's a parody of all this other stuff, but it's also like a genuine slasher story. So I don't know. Just one of those things, Scream's an alright movie. It's creative.
There's a guy that
I like what Ghostface looks like. I really like the mask. I like the character, but he's never the same person. He's like the fucking Hobgoblin. Yeah, New Nightmare came out in 94 and Scream came out in 96. But for the most part, Scream just like sucks because it's supposed to suck because it plays out like a bad TNT thriller show. But I like Ghostface, like the idea of him where he's like, calls with the voice changer, which voice changers skyrocketed when that movie came out. Like everybody wanted a voice changer. So they can fucking prank call people and be like, what's your favorite scary movie? I thought the idea of Ghostface was cool, but it was always like a Scooby-Doo episode. Like, who is it? Who really is it?
See, I
think that's cool for certain things, like that kind of dynamic, but
I could write a book.
With the Scream film, I don't know. I
could write a whole book on how, in my opinion, Wes Craven, as big of a horror guy as he was, killed his own stuff with his own.
It started with that New Nightmare thing.
Yeah, but the
from New Nightmare on 94. It's just like everything after.
But that Scream thing, that was it. It was like he was defecating on his own thing.
But at least Scream put him back up and made him more money.
Yeah, but honestly, between
that was like a semi-creative.
I know this sounds awful with him being dead and everything, but that's where I lost respect for him.
Yeah. But that was a semi-creative thing. Like, at least he made something that was modern and it was new, and it was decent. Whereas that New Nightmare thing was like, it was the start of something where I guess he was trying to do stuff, but that was too much. So it was like, I don't really know how to describe it, but that New Nightmare thing is just pointless. I don't want Freddy and all the actors to be real. Like, I get what he was doing, but it's just like,
I mean, to me, it's
a horror movie. I don't want it to be like the realest thing possible. Yeah. It's not supposed to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you think about it, Wes Craven was really a cancer to horror. Because what he did... No, seriously. It's the same thing as... And then here's my problem. This is a perfect gateway to my Eli Roth conversation. Do you know why I hate Eli Roth? Eli Roth is the Quentin Tarantino of horror. That's why I fucking hate him. Because I hate Quentin Tarantino. I'm going to go on the record here right now. I think he's the most overrated hack in Hollywood. I'm not a fan. And I hate that he's from Knoxville. I hate everything about him. I really do. I hate his films. And, Pulp Fiction, if the whole film was about John Travolta and Samuel Jackson, I think it would be a really interesting film. But everything else in between that, I think is shit. That's the... And I won't take anything away from those performances from the two of them. But everything else in that film, and him putting himself in that scene... Because I was watching it recently, and I was like, wow, what a dick licker. Like, you have to put yourself in your own hipster movie. Because that's all he is. He's just a fucking hipster asswipe that likes a lot of really bad cinema. I can't stand him. Him, J.J. Abrams, Eli Roth, they're all that's the same company of scum. And honestly, Cronenberg hasn't made a good movie in 30 years, so he's a hack. It's like, I don't know. I'm pretty... One of the reasons that because you talk about this a lot with me, one of the reasons I think horror is where it's at, because everyone that's doing it is a turd.
Well, there are all these...
The Walking Dead is garbage. It's complete garbage.
These people are like...
They offered George Romero $1 million to do one episode, and he told him to go to hell, and he was broke.
Yeah, because he did all of it. He doesn't need any money from
But what I'm saying is it was more about the art for him and not about money.
He's a real artist.
But these people that are doing all this stuff, all these people are not artists. They're money people.
Here's what it is. It's money. They're also, like, way too motivated people. Like, their parents got them in the business somewhere. Like, their daddies had a lot of money and gave them cameras and put them through film school, and they met their contacts. And
totally agree with you.
They're like... They walk up to John Carpenter like, I'm such a huge fan. Don Coscarelli, I'm such a huge... It's my favorite.
Yeah.
And then it's like, let me get a piece. Oh, guess who's going to 4K restore your movie for you? Thanks for your money, Don. I'm such a huge fan. Let me suck your fucking cock. And same thing with all these Thing people. That Void movie, I can't tell you... Look, Cavity Colors, your shirts are awesome. Your pins are awesome.
You know why I kept sharing that stuff on the page before you say this? Because everybody kept going, "Oh man,
everyone's sucking their dick."
Right, and so I was like, "Okay, there you go."
It's one of the worst,
I've never seen it.
Nonsensical pieces of dog shit I've ever seen.
Never seen it.
Because all it is, it's like it's a There's another new thing, which I love the practical effect idea, but now they're turning it around like they're like the new like Jim Henson's, or everyone thinks they're fucking Rick Baker or something. Or like this, it's like practical body horror, fucking homage to The Thing and John Carpenter. Because you know what, so
it does bother
some daddy issues.
See, now you actually
some daddy issues. Directors, filmmaker, camp, fucking cocksucker saw The Thing one time, and he saw John Carpenter in concert because his dad got him tickets for his birthday with his emo girlfriend. And he goes and makes The Void. It's an homage to horror movies. It's 80s. Even though he grew up in 91, he has to make an homage to 80s horror.
Well, let's run with this.
Look, I have
Follows is another piece of shit.
We have an 80s and back horror podcast, even though we do 90s stuff. But I don't pretend like I was born in the 80s and that, I have a Jack Burton tattoo. And I think
you just have really good taste in music and horror movies.
But I don't act like I'm from the 80s.
No, you don't.
I'm not. My podcast isn't an homage to The Thing with practical effects from J.J. Abrams 4K restoration. It's just like when you watch The Void, it's a direct ripoff of The Thing, but it's in a hospital, which I hate hospitals, so I'm automatically like, this movie's fucking gay. Why are they in a hospital the entire movie?
Right.
And I've argued with a million people about this, and all of them can't get off of the nipple, of like the teat of that movie. They're just like, they're brainwashed. That's all it is. It's like, Bloody Disgusting told me The Void's amazing. So they go watch it, and they're like, The Void is amazing. It's like, it's not. Did you even watch it?
The same people did this. Listen to me.
There's some like nipple somewhere, and everybody sucks on it. It's got J.J. Abrams' milk in it. It's got Quentin Tarantino's milk in it. It's got Rob Zombie's milk in it.
I know you like... I hate Tarantino. I think he's a hack.
I love Tarantino, but people...
I think he's a hack.
It's the same people that are like, dude, you gotta do the original Star Wars trilogy. It's like, okay, well, what are the Tusken Raiders? What planet are they on? They're on Hoth Yavin. I'm like, no. Bye. The same kinds of people.
But no, but listen...
Those are Quentin Tarantino is the best director of the new millennium.
But he's not. He's a hack.
It's a
that
matter of
stole from a bunch of other stuff. Let me ask you something.
Nobody's the best director.
Well, no, I'll prove it to you right now that he's a hack. Do you know what that briefcase thing is stolen from in Pulp Fiction? Repo Man. It's a trunk that glows. He straight up stole that. I mean, the guy is a hack. He steals all the movies that are popular that he did. He stole from movies I grew up watching.
Yeah, because
he's not that much older than me.
The Hateful Eight is
he's like 10 years old.
Is a direct ripoff of the main one.
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Yeah, same thing. Which he does. He's an homage actor, which is the most hipster thing he could possibly do, is do an homage to anything.
But that's my point. Is he's a hack. He is. He's a hack.
But
But now
he's made good films.
His buddies. If you like him, I don't like anything he's ever done. I hate that Inglourious Basterds. Man, I can try to keep my mouth shut. We're talking about that. I'd rather jump off of a building than watch that piece of dog shit. Because it's nothing but him sitting there going, Nazis in war, yeah. It's just dumb.
I know, it's like, give me an Oscar even though it'll never happen. That's all that
No,
is.
he's never going to win shit. But I
like Django. That movie's badass.
I like Jamie Foxx. Mm-hmm. So that one kind of
I like Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's badass.
Look, I think True Romance is an awesome film.
That's good too. Which he wrote that. He didn't
direct it.
He wrote
it. And he's very talented. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying, whether someone likes someone's art is whatever. I just personally think he's a hack. It's just I think he's overrated too, big time. But you're talking about that Void. I want to talk about the ones that make me mad. Hold on.
You need to watch that, and you're going to hate
Follows.
Yourself. I still don't understand that either. Bloody Disgusting said it's the best film of the generation, and then they go watch and like, well, it's the best film. Somebody's like paying everybody.
What's that other one? What's the other one? It's like it's a straight slasher ripoff, and it has like the 80s music in the cover.
Oh, it's like Lost After Dark. Never saw that thing. It's an IFC turd.
It made me wanna, but
IFC After Midnight Dark
and
80s production.
What's the one from last year that I watched that made me want to vomit?
Oh, Lights Out or something?
No, that was good. That's
It's called Don't Breathe, that one.
That's it. Lots Out.
That's some M. Night Shyamalan.
No, it's worse than
it's one of the other ones.
Which
does that piss you off? M. Night
Shyamalan's
doing Tales from the Crypt now. Doesn't that piss you off? It's his homage to the Tales from the Crypt 80s.
No, because I thought that show sucked.
I know, but
it's a Creepshow ripoff.
It's still all these like...
It's still a Creepshow ripoff.
There's 3 people getting paid in the industry to do the same 3 things. It's like J.J. Abrams...
Well, he got approved to do it because everybody said Split was just so crazy.
You know it's not. Did you see that
Yeah,
movie?
It's a piece of dog shit.
Why did you watch that?
Because so people can't come at me and
the doctor gets bored.
No, the doctor will watch stuff so I can attack it.
Yeah. Hey, at least you pay money to go do it. You know, you do your research the right way. I spent
$1.50, but
doesn't matter. But it's better than these people. I got the Void because I downloaded it on the intranet, and I'm the biggest fan of the director.
Oh, right.
Even though you've never fucking paid for a cent. Well,
you know,
I'm telling you go watch the Void. It's just like the biggest fucking fart I've ever seen.
Well, you know,
because look, it's practical effects from J.J. Abrams' Creature Hut, and it's like. It's this. Of course, it's synth music because everybody with a fucking Fruity Loops on their phone thinks they're fucking Tangerine Dream, and they're just sitting there like.
Oh, I know.
Suddenly, they're fucking out in Hallmark.
Everybody thinks they're fucking John Carpenter. I mean,
it's they just have their little phone keyboard and they press.
And that's that's the great thing about John Carpenter too. Is like, I was watching an interview with this guy and he was talking about how great that. It Follows was because it has music in it like that. And then
that's all everybody's doing is 80s synth.
But I read a clip.
80s synthy.
But I read a clip from Carpenter, and Carpenter was like, "Wow, it's like I should get royalties off all these shitty films." And he should, but even though he's a prick, but it is what it is.
Should also give it to Vangelis, who did fucking Terminator. All that stuff that he started. But Tangerine Dream should be making money off this stuff because it's just.
And
all these
zombie and
these,
all the
and Goblin's
what I meant. But
but all these hipsters that want to pay respects to something that they didn't even see because they weren't born 20 years back.
But it's fine because they're all going to just die alone, or they're going to die with some girl that they knocked up that's dumb as they are. It's like You knocked her up watching that It Follows movie. But what I was going to tell you about The Void, though, that I thought was funny.
Yeah, so many arguments with people. They're like, well, you know what? That's your opinion. I just think it's good. It's like, well, your opinion is invalid.
The Void's going to be at that horror thing this year.
It's a terrible movie.
It's going to be there.
Here's the other thing about it. Look. The only movie you can have where there's absolutely no likable characters and you want them dead is a slasher film. Not some fucking, like, alien in a hospital with, like, weird cult doctor things. Like, none of it made any sense. And it never had any resolution to it. And all the people that were in the movie were unlikable. There was not a single person I wanted to survive. Which, even in slashers, there's, like, always that one person or that one thing that you want to survive in it. And there was nothing. I wanted everyone to die, and I hated the movie from the start of it. It's just like everyone's...
Well, see, that's how I felt about Deathgasm, but everybody was like, it's really good.
Everybody in the film are a bunch of pussies, and they all are, like, yelling at each other, and they're just, like, annoying. And, like, then there's some, like, alien that looks like the Thing from, like, Japan. It's just like, I like Tokyo Gore Police and Takeshi Miike because he's the best Japanese director, and I also like John Carpenter. And then it's just like both of them combined. It's just like this stupid looking alien thing. Like the effects are okay.
You sound like me right now. That's why I love it. It got you worked up.
The effects are okay, and you know some of the directions are.
Ask Corey if he's ever heard of. Ask him. Wait, no, hold on. They're just like.
That's me. Look that. Or he's just downing that fucking alcohol.
Well, let's keep going with this a second because this is the same person. They're just like, what sports team do you like there, hipster? I really like the Chicago Cubs. They needed a pennant.
I've been to Chicago once, and I had the
Oakland Raiders.
I went to Chicago one time for like 3 hours, and I had a chicken gyro, and it just really changed my life because the ranch really accented the garlic mayo sauce.
And I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win another pennant. And you know what? Once the Dallas Raiders move to Las Vegas, I really think they're just going to be the best team. And I'm also going to be a Las Vegas Knights fan because, you know, Don Coscarelli is my favorite director. Even though I've never even seen any of his fucking movies. I've just heard of Phantasm because J.J. Abrams is my favorite producer. Do me a favor right now. Because we haven't done this in a long time. Tell everybody on here. I'm very proud of you. I'm going to build this up first. I want to tell you guys how much I love doing this podcast with this gentleman to the left of me. But I want to tell you, he got you a guest that I can't even believe that he got.
That's happening,
and it's sick. And I've got a guest that you all don't know about that I can't talk about, but there's a guest that's coming that I'm going to have him reveal to you right now. We're going to do a big thing here for it, but I'm serious. I didn't think we would ever get any of those guys. I don't know why. I just figured we wouldn't. And I'll be damned if you didn't get like the best one you could have got because he's in everything. And I'm seriously, literally about crap myself when you told me. Like I was like, well, I've got to take a time.
Should I seriously drop the bombshell now, or should I just wait?
No, go ahead. I want you to do it right now because we're putting this up soon.
Well, not only do we have Peter from Vader on this episode, which is amazing, we got so many more good episodes for you guys. So many awesome guests. We never let up here at Phantasm. We got Bill and Matt from Decrepit Birth. They're going to talk about Access Monday, which is the Doctor's album of the month. Awesome fucking record. We had Frank from fucking Suffocation. We had Terrence on a few episodes back from the Wishmaster episode, which always a pleasure to have Terrence on. He's one of our boys.
Yep.
Sticks his neck out for us. Can't thank him enough. He's one of the legends of fucking death metal. And Frank as well. So it was nice to have him drop by on the show. We have Schmear from Destruction, which we just put up, which is awesome. Another huge,
is that up?
Huge name.
Oh yeah, it is up.
But trying to get the other half of this podcast together as far as horror movie guests. They're a little harder to come by as far as their availability. Most of these guys are still doing projects, whether they're big or small.
We got a couple in the wind. You've got.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the best of both worlds. We've had less luck with horror actors because they're actors. They're a little bit more, not to offend anybody we've had on, but they're a little more pretentious.
I don't think it is any of the ones we've had on. Kim's not pretentious.
They're a little more pretentious than to try to get to do and all this stuff. Like they just have way harder schedules. They're filming for like 10 to 18 hours a day, and it's hectic. They're constantly meeting with people to do new projects with, and I understand. And a lot of these musicians too, they're constantly writing an album, they're recording an album, they're going on tour, they're going to Europe, they're spending small, like a couple weeks with their family before they go back out for another 2 months. So I just want to say, a lot of times we get frustrated where we can't get the people we want because a lot of things that are out of our control and out of the band's control that get in the way of what we do. And we do this as fans, and that's it. We're not trying to do this for money. We don't get any kind of funding for this or money. We do this out of our hard-earned time off and work schedule.
We get occasional label help, but
so
for musicians anyway.
There's things back and forth that kind of get in the way, but I want to stress the point that the Doctor and I fully understand that as musicians and as actors that we try to get on the show, we appreciate all the time that they give us, the people that have given us the time of day, because we know that the schedules between both musicians and actors are ridiculous, because they really don't have time to be with their families as much as they want, and they're constantly working and doing press and doing shows and doing conventions and public appearances, all this stuff. So people that have given us the time of day in the midst of all of that, I want to personally thank all of you guys, all the guests that have came on the show, anybody that's ever even responded to an email of mine, whether it would be positive or negative, for the attention to say anything and not just blow us off. That says a lot about your character. And whether the guest was even kind of a shithead or not, at least they made the time. So thanks for that. And with that being said,
like Bill from Decrepit Birth,
I would like to announce a future guest on the show very soon.
Day before my birthday.
Yep. It's a birthday present for me to the Doctor.
I fit God. It's crazy.
One of my freebies. And it's Reggie Bannister.
That's freaking crazy.
Of Phantasm fame. The man. The ice cream man.
That's just crazy.
Reggie Bannister.
I'm like 10 years old. It's awesome.
The crazy thing is that, that's his actual name is Reggie. And I've met him at a horror convention. It was the first horror convention.
Is he nice?
Oh, he's Reggie. Him in those films are him in person.
That's amazing.
He's like a lax, just like chill dude. He's exactly who he is in the films. I met him in September of 2012, maybe. It was a long time ago. First horror convention I ever went to. And it was the Phantasm reunion. And there's a picture of me, and the Doctor's seen it. It's I look like it's my family portrait, and it's Don Coscarelli and Angus and Michael Baldwin and Reggie. And it was really cool to meet all those guys at once. This was before.
To me, you couldn't have gone. Aside from the tall man, who better? He's in all of it.
Yeah, that's him.
He's in all of it.
It's Reggie. Reggie's the...
other than Coscarelli, it's like... And honestly, Reggie, to me, is better than Coscarelli, because it's like... It's fucking Reggie Bannister.
Reggie's secretly, like, the main character of the whole thing.
He is.
Yeah. It's all about him, And, a lot of the films are about...
him dealing with that, their crazy
Michael Baldwin
family.
Or whatever. A lot of it's about him, too. Mike, which is the same. He's Mike in the films. He's Mike in real life. And he's really cool, too. And I would love to... reach out to Mike. I think he's the shit.
We get as many people these folks we can.
He does a lot, but Reggie's working on a film called Bone Jangles, which I haven't seen anything about, but he does.
Sounds cool.
He does a lot of really good B-movie stuff, and this one's like a slasher, I think, and he's gonna be on to promote that. And, I told him I would, of course, love to talk about Phantasm, and we don't just have the name for the sake of it to be spelled wrong. We have it because
we don't want to be sued.
It's a word play on the thing we love, and we're fans, so it's Phantasm. Makes sense. I know there's some other fucking horror convention documentary called Phantasm, spelled the same way, but
there is.
Yeah, but this isn't the same thing, and it's an easy thing to take name of. But if you go on iTunes, Phantasm Podcast is copywritten, and it's us, so we can actually sue you for it, and it's on SoundCloud too. So it's legally Gene Simmons by Corey Gorechrist and Dr. Vincent West. So if you think your little measly bullshit that you show at horror conventions because you suck somebody's penis in film school, that under J.J. Abrams producer film school brigade, class 101, you can actually eat our legal buttholes.
I want to talk to you about this because I'm so excited. I want to share this with our audience if it's cool.
And so, Reggie, can't wait to have you on. Hopefully all the fans of this podcast that even remotely love Phantasm as much as we do think that that's something really special for you guys to hear. So be on the lookout for that.
I mean, no offense, that just buries any... It does. It's just awesome. It's amazing.
Now, look, I love Ken. Ken's a dear friend of ours.
No, I'm not...
Finally met him in person, and it felt really good.
I mean, look what I'm wearing. I love... It's not... No, that's amazing. It's just... What did he write on your thing? I can't read it. It's just a Corey something. Because he wrote something crazy on mine.
Can't see what it says. It's a quote from the movie. It's scary. Something. Scary walks.
I don't know. Don't bail.
That's why I'm not going to take the picture. I'm just going to be like, bro. But yeah, that's super cool. See, I didn't get a Reggie print or anything, but I got his picture with all of them. So that's worth a million words compared to the
Well, no, here's what's amazing about that. I can't mention my big one. We've got a big one like that for big ones. That's but it's
well. If you listen to,
but this is as big as that.
If you live, I think if you guys check out the upcoming episode we have with Brian Slagle, which should be it's coming pretty soon. It's in our catalog.
Oh yeah, I did. I let the cat out of the bag.
Interview's been done, but we're just sometimes we're not very consistent because we both work separate schedules, and the doctor's back in medical school, and relearning the ropes. And it's we don't have time. We like to mainly if there's episodes we do where it's just the interviews, we'll put it up. Like the Martin Popoff thing, very insightful. It's up now on our SoundCloud page and iTunes, all the podcasts.
Hey Corey, I just want to tell you, this is Martin Popoff, and you're listening to the Phantasm Snodblast.
You're listening to the PC podcast.
You're listening to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
You're listening to the Macintosh podcast.
You're listening to Hack It and Slash It.
But yeah, Pop-Pop's awesome. But
no, he was cool. It's
stuff like that, it can just go up because it was just one of those quick interviews. It was actually like an hour long, so it stood long by
itself. Yeah, because did you hear it at the end? He's like, I'm going to have to let you go there, Vincent. I got to go. I'm going to go take a dump.
I got to go study.
That Metamucil's kicking in. I've got to go take a dump. I've got to empty my bowels.
My mom told me not to drink so much prune juice, but who is she kidding?
It's about to come out of my Canadian crack. So I'm going to have to wrap this up and go get some Gib on my face from Sam Dunn. But
it's a good facial mask when you go to sleep.
It does. I just rub it all in. His Gib, because he has like a lot of feminine sperm, it just kind of sticks to my face. And
it's from all that L'Oreal that he puts in his hair.
He doesn't. just pull that sperm facial off.
That hot Canadian mist. Spray that hot Canadian mist.
Edit this whole episode anyway, but it's
spray that hot Canadian mist into my pores.
I always love that. Whatever that's supposed to be, Harry and Henderson's.
Do you know what it actually looks like? If you're probably going to pee yourself when I tell you this. It looks like a Toodle Cat legs. It does. He's like, give me that gold.
He was like, I want that liquid gold. Yeah, Martin Popoff was cool, but back to
How Holbrook had just done with Adrian.
The Fog.
He had just done the Fog with her.
This was right off the heels of that. Yep.
Well, that was 80.
Yeah.
Still, it's right.
That was like the last thing they did.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Released together.
He's in Fletch Lives too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we like to mainly, for the most part, pair everyone up with a movie and do an episode with. So it takes a little time to sit there and do this stuff like we're doing right now. Usually we don't have as much time.
And a disclaimer: if you guys don't want to listen to the episode, if you're just wanting to hear the interview, because I saw some people flipping out on the Cryptopsy page when they shared it. Which, by the way, what's up, Flo and Matt? Love you. Thank you for sharing that. Just go to the YouTube page.
Now, people will get pissed because I haven't been putting up the ones on YouTube.
Well, but it'll eventually be there.
I'm trying to show a little love to the SoundCloud. We need to get some more hits on there. So, you guys, if you're listening to all this stuff and you do skip to it, you can do it on the SoundCloud like you're doing right now. So, and then maybe I'll start putting more stuff up on YouTube. Thanks.
There you go. That's from the technical end of it, and if you don't like it.
Because it takes more time for me to put stuff up on YouTube than it does to SoundCloud.
I could see that.
Well, because I have to edit it separately. I
Sure.
have to put the picture in there, and I have to cut it to where it's
and
edited
put a new
a certain
intro,
way.
and
Yeah, so it's, I also have to cut out the coming soon thing. That's really cool. I've been working on a new coming soon. I've been using the same coming soon thing for like 100 episodes now, so I figured we've probably done a lot of them, so I made a new one. So that's coming at the end of this one. So if you guys like the little... I think the coming soon thing's a nice addition. It's a nice foot. It's a nice foot. This looks like the hospital from Terminator 2.
It kind of looks like the hospital from...
It looks like the hospital from The Thing. Because everything is The Thing.
No, from
every movie
from the
is
Void.
The Thing.
It's the Void.
It's the VOD. They should just make a new hipster movie called The Voivod. And it's just dudes walking around in a vest jerking off about The Thing. They're just like, practical effects by J.J. Abrams' special effects team. It's this Creature Shop.
That's funny.
From J.J. Abrams' Creature Shop, inspired by
Hey, are we
Carpenter.
going to do Suspiria still?
Yeah.
I've got a line on maybe getting us into that for free.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that here or in Nashville?
No, it's here. It's in Florida. Yeah, it is.
I know the guy that's doing that. He told me about it.
Okay, well then just tell that.
He works at the game store down here.
Okay, then tell that motherfucker that we're interested in it. Let us know.
He was like, yeah, Suspiria was inspired by The Thing by J.J. Abrams. It's also inspired by Exodus and every Megadeth album but Peace Sells. I like So Far So Good So What, even though that album sounds like it was recorded in Corey's toilet. It's like, look guys, you don't have to like stuff because you back catalog just to like find stuff. Like, I know when you're full of shit. I'm not full of shit.
Well, I'll give you a good example. I share a lot because they're dear friends of ours, two other dear friends, mainly a dear friend and a new friend.
He's actually
Alex from Crisian.
Yeah.
But he had a picture up today of them with Chink Angel, and I'm not putting that on our page. I'm just not doing it. Slope Angel's not going on our page because they rock starred us. Well, they did. Fucking pisses me off. You can edit that out. It feels good to say it.
Yeah.
Them Chinks. Anyway.
Bryce Angel.
Yeah. Patty Angel. Death Patty. Death Patty. It's great.
You know what I picture? Like that new Rambo from 09 where he's just like mowing them down on the rice field. Just like,
you've got to think of me doing that to them. It's them on stage. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Like their arms fly. I'm like,
yeah, you'll never hear Death Patty on this podcast. Oh God, that's funny. But no, they were like hanging out with him, and I'm like, I'm not sharing that. So I put a ton of stuff on the page today too. Not that, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I put like a million things. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday Wesley Snipes too. And yesterday, happy birthday Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Some fucking trash bag came into my work today. He's like, I like the Blade movies. And he bought Blade on DVD. Like all three of them. Then he came back near at the end of the night and he was like, I just realized I don't have a DVD player. And he sold back the Blade movies. It's the kind of shit I have to deal with now, people. He was like, you know what song I have in my head? It's the Slipknot song, My Plague. You ever heard that? He's one of these people that has like, he's like a fucking R-tard that was hatched in like a fucking sewer main. He's got like all his tattoos are like his cousin made them in a fucking Hummer. Like, it's like love and hater tattooed on his knuckles, and it looks like I drew them with a fucking Sharpie. But they're real. They're like, my favorite movie, The Ninja Turtles in the Shadows. Jim Henson inspired the CGI effects.
So he's going out with... It's one of those.
Mm-hmm. No, it's bad. It's not even that. It's worse. I don't think anybody would go
What was your name again?
No, nobody would go out with this guy except for his mother. Like, it's fucking gross. He's like a...
I don't know. That was pretty scary, too, I thought. What I did was shave my butthole out and put it on my face. And then I was like, what's your name again?
No, those tattoos are just like...
No, that's what that looked like. Did you ever notice that?
Raunch sauce.
It literally looked like he got some like crazy glue and it's just like, you gotta look older.
He's like, I'm a man now. I'm gonna go chop firewood with my dog.
No. What's funny, when I saw him, because it wasn't growing right, I wanted to be like, you should, this is seriously, you could have peed yourself. I wanted to look at him and be, what was your name again? But like, it doesn't matter, but you should probably lay off the different hormones for women, because you look like a dyke.
It's like, look, we all know that you're just about to join a Mennonite church.
Yeah, it's like, well, no, I'm seriously, it was just like, oh, that's sweet. How long have you been transitioning?
Stephen King pops in, he's like, meteor shit.
Pretty much.
And it's like, ooh. I think Satan just took a duty, speaking of.
Yeah, at least she's been quiet.
It smells like Cheerios covered in shit. I don't know how she does it.
It does smell horrible.
It's like honey nut poo.
She's just a stomach that farts.
She's like a rolling stomach. Like,
she's just a four-legged butthole.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, I was going to be like, how long have you been transitioning?
Yeah. It's like, wow, but I didn't know Bosley works on your face.
It's just like, wow, you've got a lot of testosterone pills you've been taking.
He's like, what was your name again? He should have been like Rogaine. That's funny.
No, seriously, his face looked like it was covered in butthole hair. It looked like he'd just grown,
shaved his taint, put it on his face.
It literally looked like that. It was just like, oh, you've been growing your butthole hair out on your face. Yeah. That is your face.
So why don't you smell your...
Hold on, I got a fart. What's your name again?
What's your favorite craft beer? Here's another thing, too. The people that like The Void listen to craft beer podcasts, which apparently are like every podcast but ours. Let's compare Jack Frost with this craft beer. It's a winter lager IPA light from our friends in Pittsburgh.
Well, there was a picture of Wheelchair Fucker. Let's talk about this a second. He was at the Gulf Shores.
I don't know what the craft beer thing is.
Well, no, listen, this is so funny. His friend was drinking that one beer that's supposed to have lemonade in it or whatever.
What?
I forget what it's called.
It's like
it's a yellow box. I know you've seen this.
It's a light shanty wheat.
Listen,
can you just drink piss?
The commercial on MLB Network says it's like a beer with
that's
lemonade.
That's Liga Nagahast.
It's like something like
German
that.
Shit. It's not German. It's like
no, it's an American.
Minnesota.
Yeah,
it takes the German hops from Belgium and it turns it into Colorado P. It's just like none of this makes nothing makes sense anymore.
But the idea,
J.J. Abrams takes his 4K restoration from his Creature Shop, and George Lucas is sitting there having a seizure because he's fingering his bean so hard. He's like, my $1 million, man. And then Harrison Ford's like, oh, thank God, I got my fucking career back.
Have you watched that Press Player One thing or whatever? Yeah.
The trailer, it's garbage.
You did watch it.
I don't know where the
Can you see where I was offended by it?
I don't know where the CGI starts or where it ends. Like, it's just like, there's nothing real about the movie.
All I know is when we were in the theater, it was like everybody in there was like this.
Hey, look, it's J.J. Abrams.
They were just like...
J.J. Abrams is in the movie.
Oh, the cockroach?
It's a fucking cockroach, yeah. He's just spraying it on.
He is the lowest form of humanity.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's just... Ew, I actually thought that was on my TV. I was going to be like...
This scene's hard to watch, actually. This is they save the best for last as far as grossing.
It's the Rancho, yeah.
It is. It's Taco Rancho. It's gross.
But, I don't remember what I was saying. Yeah, I don't know why people can't just drink a fucking beer. Why it's got to be a contest, or it's got to be like you're trying. What are you trying to accomplish by drinking different beers?
You came in one night and she was just like pulsing, like her stomach, and then she just splits open and a roach comes out of her.
I'll burn this whole apartment.
It'd make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it would. But here's the thing: people can't even drink beer anymore because it's got to be like some hipster cult contest.
Do you know what I'm talking about, though? It's called like Liffenhavens or something. And it's
like Lagunitas.
Yeah, and it's like
shanty wheat Colorado Cali P
with lemonade. It sounds nasty.
It's because all these hipsters that go to film school and like The Void and The Thing that have never heard of John Carpenter before.
And they're all fat because all they drink is these non-light beers. It's
no, their daddies not only put them through film school, but their dad was also a brewer. He brewed. He has a brew kit.
No, come down to our microbrewery.
Yep. He has a fucking butt-fucking barn somewhere, and he brews
Scott,
beer.
You've got to meet him. He's got a job, and he shaves his butthole hair and puts on his face.
I have a job. I milked my dad for a job, and here I am with my brew kit.
And my butthole hair on my face.
My dad died because he couldn't stand the sight of me, of my pube hair, so I took over.
He took his Norelco and just shaved my butthole off, and then put it on my face.
It's the new Schick Hydro Light IPA. It's got German hops.
What was your name again?
It's got German hops straight from Minnesota. Are you going around drinking different soda because you want to? No. Like, sure, once in a while I'd be like, you know what, I'm going to try this soda. Like, that never happens. Sometimes I want a Coke.
See, people make fun of me. I'm a creature of habit. I like the same shit, you know. Like right now, I've been on a major ginger ale kick for like months.
Yeah, ginger ale's good.
But I like Sprite Zero, and I like Squirt, and I like, which is weird.
You're not drinking it. You're not drinking it because your friends are like, dude, you should really try the Schweppes.
Try that. Why don't you try the Seagram's IPA ginger ale?
Why don't you try that Coke Zero next? It's just like no one ever says, can you try this soda?
What do you think of the hops in that ginger ale?
But God forbid you try to drink a beer. They're like, dude, have you had that Moose Piss IPA lager? It's like, no, I had a beer. Like, I don't know why beer has to be a fucking contest. Nobody like does that with liquor. They're like, you should really try that new Knob Creek Wood Reserve aged from 1829. Like, people just buy cheap beer, cheap liquor and don't say anything. But suddenly beer is this fucking pissing contest, and I don't understand where it comes from. Like, where it's stemming from. It's like beer culture.
I don't think what's interesting about it either.
Beer culture comes from beard culture. That also comes from elitist.
Mastodon.
It comes from elitist, like, music bullshit.
And Dying Penis.
Yeah, and Dying Penis and Mastodon. It's just like beards.
And Ghost. Ghost is another one. It's Ghost IPA.
It's beards.
What was your name again?
It's beards, beer, and then it's like vests, and then like the void. I don't know where this is all coming from. Somebody wrote
it. That's true.
Cirrhosis of the liver is what it should be. It's all stemming from one little thing that I can't put my finger on.
Can I start calling her Kitty Roaches?
No, it's... I don't know where it's coming from, though. It's like...
It's I know the same place that this other stuff's coming from.
But where?
Where everybody's like, No, hear me out.
It's all U.S. bullshit.
No, it is. It is. It's because everybody in this country is insane except for the two of us.
It's like, ew.
No, seriously, because
that looks like
and our
Taco
listeners
Bell.
are not insane, I hope. But
look, it's like post Metallica, like dad, like Uncle touched me. Now I got something to prove because I'm like 26 thing.
And I watch UFC.
It's like
they
people
all watch UFC.
It's like people from my generation is what did it. It's like, it's like now they're trying to be what the 80s was, and they can't do it. But they think that they are so hard that they're like, we're taking the 80s back. It's like, you're from the 90s, you'll never be the 80s.
It's like Raw. They're trying to make it the 90s Raw, and they can't do it.
I just don't know what it is.
I tried watching Raw last night. It was
it's boring. They say,
except for Enzo and Cass fighting each other, which is funny.
They say ass, and they're like, ooh, you said ass, and whoa.
It's just...
That's like their one little bomb. They're like, I'm gonna kick your ass. And they're like, whoa.
Well,
whenever that.
I can't deal with Samoa Chode.
Mm-hmm.
I can't deal with
He
him.
looks like Mr. Potato Head.
I don't like him. And I tell you who else I can't deal with is that fucking, that gargantuan tard, that Braun Strowman fuck.
Oh, yeah.
He's just a dumbass. I just wish Sid Vicious was like 25 years old. He was come on and just power slam him and leave.
But I guess where this all stems from, I don't know where the trends came from with the beards and the vests and the beer and the void and all this like pseudo John Carpenter appreciation stuff. I think it all comes
Which
from...
chaps my ass because they make me seem like I'm one of those.
I think it all comes from people that are wanting to be something that they don't even know what it is, but they think that it's cool. Like, they have an idea of what the 80s was, so now they're all like these depressed 90s kids that are nostalgic, so they're wanting to fit in somewhere, but it's like...
Kenny Roaches.
You know what nobody gave a shit about in the 80s? Beards. No one cared. Everybody was clean shaven in all these movies. There was no beard dudes like walking around with vests on. Everybody had long hair and they were clean shaven and they wore high top Nikes. And people that look like that now are fucking stupid too. It's like, just grow up with what you have. If you like stuff from then, that's cool, but you can't live it because you're not in the times. You know, just
that's what I was going to say.
Just stick to your lame bullshit. It's like I bought a vest, but I spent a lot of money doing that.
Horror fan.
You know, I just don't.
I bet you.
I don't think I'm from the 80s wearing it.
I bet you, if I was at a horror convention, I bet you 90% of the people there have never seen Trick or Treat. They'd say they had, but I bet you they've never seen it.
No, Doctor, it's just they're huge fans of it. It's like their favorite besides The Thing. This is really gross. I can't stand roaches or any of that.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh, I know. It's just nasty. Oh. You ought to freak me out. Just put some fucking bugs in it.
And the scary thing is, in this, is they're real.
Yeah. I wouldn't have stepped foot. I would have just been like, you guys are filming for a few days. See ya.
You have to have a certain mentality to be able to... Although this bothers me, but it doesn't bother me near as bad as, like...
A fly or something.
Yeah. Or got infested. That movie... Oh.
Ew.
I mean, that movie is nasty. The cockroach thing. The mutant cockroach thing.
Those
I've got that if you ever want to do it.
What, infested?
Yes.
No.
It is.
This movie's actually long. I didn't think it was.
We should have given that to Barnes. That movie's just gross.
Yeah. Ugh. I was afraid there's some big fucking roaches in there. That's raunchy. Yeah, those are some like those roaches have been alive for like fucking 10 years. They're just like some of those roaches are fucking gigantic. It's really nasty. Those are some Manhattan roaches in there.
This is really gross.
Yeah.
My brother's room has some that come out about that big at our place.
Ooh.
Yes. They're this big.
They're leave like food in his fucking room?
Yes.
That's why.
They're bigger than the stuff in this movie.
Ew.
They're bigger than those real big ones. I'm not joking. God, that one was huge. Did you see that?
That was one of those African hissing cockroaches or something. This is making me like freaked out. I can't deal with roaches and shit.
It's gross, isn't it?
It makes me like itch and like feel like there's bugs on me.
It's taco rancho.
It's not even a fear. It just makes me.
Oh no, it's a fear for me.
It makes me uneasy. But if I was in a room like that, I would just like hang myself. I couldn't deal with it. I would Chester Bennington myself. That's another thing.
You can't wake up. You're not going to wake up. You can't wake up. You're not going to wake up. You can't wake up.
Oh, like
was he the one that was like, I can't wake up?
No, that's Evanescence, which they all need to hang themselves too.
Oh, okay.
Fucking Christian.
I thought that was the same band.
Fucking Christian nerds.
Ugh. When he spread my vagina inside,
I can't wake up.
I can't wake up. No, but it's a terrible thing. But I'm tired of hearing about it and all these supposed like metal. There's not even actual.
Let me ask you this: we've never talked about this.
There's not even actual metal publications anymore because all they do is still suck new metal's dick. Because all these fucking people that write for all these publications, all these supposed metal sites, they're all these fucking 90s assholes that have beards and wear vests and fucking drink IPA beer. They have to have beer contests every night instead of drinking beer. They have to be like, I'm going to try that new milk stout moose lager. It's like, can you just drink beer?
It's got dog cum in it.
When
it's got Boston dog cum.
When did just drinking alcohol to get drunk?
No, excuse me. It's got Reds. It's got a random Reds player's gib in it.
I just don't know.
I mean, Cubs players gib in it. This is hard to watch.
Here's some body horror, people. Oh, that's pretty nasty.
Oh, it gets worse.
Got the. That's what my cat's gonna do one day.
Look at that.
Oh, turn into Oogie Boogie from fucking Nightmare Before Christmas. Ooh, I don't know. Some of those are big fucking.
Let me ask you something. How did they come out of him though? I didn't ever understand that.
I don't know. It's just gross. I'm just going to go back to one.
Is it just
me,
or is that the grossest thing George ever directed?
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. I just don't know how getting drunk on alcohol that you have to get an acquired taste for turns into a fucking wine tasting when you could just... That's all it is now. It's just like, I tasted a beer. It's like you're supposed to drink beer and get
drunk. If you would shave your beard off, get a job, and put your butthole hair on your face, and ask me what my name is. Yeah. What was your name again? then you'd be ready to date. That's Savini.
Yeah, that's who it is. It's funny. He looks like a garbage man. Kind of looks like Luigi from Super Mario Brothers.
He does, and you know what he also kind of looks like? He looks like an Italian pizza delivery man.
Mm-hmm. He's like, buongiorno,
who is that right pizza. There on the right? Because he looks incredibly familiar to me.
Yeah. Shit. That is Marty Schiff. No, I've seen him in a ton of stuff. And we're back to Tom Atkins eating his cornflakes and just drinking his beer. That's totally Miller High Life or something simple. It's not this fucking Goose Nuts IPA. That's just him and his friends just have to go out drinking special beer that makes them feel special.
Well, it's weird. My brother, which is just a dumb hick, he buys all that stuff too. It's like
I saw some
Fountain City IPA, rich, smooth hops.
I saw some like 70-year-old man going to like Target, and he came out with like Goosehead IPA. Just like, you don't even know what that is. You're just buying it because it sounds cool.
He's like, my wife. No, listen. Here's your one. This is the one that I see at Kroger all the time. It's like, yeah, my wife had to get her pain script filled. I'm going to get a couple of Swan Fart IPAs.
Yeah, Swan Fart.
I just don't get it, man.
And then my son really likes what he really likes.
He likes that raspberry wheat shanty.
No, listen. He likes that hamster scrotum shanty.
I just don't get it.
It's filled with real hamster nut. It's got a creamy hamster nut like aftertaste. and it's 17.9% alcohol.
Yeehaw.
Honey, go ahead and get your script filled. I'm going to go ahead and sneak in the parking lot and knock off one of these hamster Gib Light. And actually, none of it's wide. It's all like full flavor. It's all like full flavor hamster Gib.
People pay for like $9 for this shit at a bar too. It's like, if it's imported beer, I get it. That's imported beer.
I drink Stella Artois when I can afford it.
Imported beer is different because they're actually real fucking brewers for like millions of years. But like not millions, but you know what I mean. That guy's name is Dick Fury. That's kind of funny. Dick Fury.
Sounds like a porn star.
Yeah. Dick Fury.
He's also a Marvel hero.
Yeah.
Walt Disney and Vivid Entertainment present Dick Fury.
Peter North is Dick Fury.
But yeah, I just don't understand it. Here, let me come up with another one. You ready? Made with fresh East Tennessee yard clippings. Try the new Manning Hops Ale Nut Light.
Yeah.
But no, it's never light. I keep messing up my own joke. There's never any light to any of this stuff.
It's the hard cider milk stout from Porn Creek.
Hard.
It's from Nipple Sweat.
Here's something I don't understand. I about threw up because wheelchair fucker was drinking when I asked him if I could take a pull off of it. What is up with these hard ciders?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, everybody has to have like fruit in their fucking beer because they're fruits.
God, I wish we had our own cable TV show because I would totally do this one. Corey, what are you drinking?
I just really want apple juice with a little bit of hops.
I'm drinking a fucking Capri Sun dog nut.
I just want everything to taste
fruity
like
with hops and balls.
I just want everything to taste like a fruity butthole. And it's, even though I'm totally not gay, dude.
It's fresh with a lot of alcohol, but the dog spunk really You could tell they really squelched his scrotum into this bag.
You know what I do? I like to wring out my carpet that my cat pees on and then put a little apple in it. And then it becomes hard cider.
It's feline urine hops really rise to the top with a fresh. My breath smells like a fresh stank of pee.
That stuff gives me a headache. I have like half a beer and I'm just like, I'm not even drunk, but I feel like I'm hungover. It's stupid. And it tastes like fucking, like fair food. It's just gross.
See, I've seen you buy some of that stuff. I thought you were actually trying to experiment, or was that?
I just wanted it. It's like, I just want my funnel cake with hops. It's like, just drink fucking beer. No,
fresh East Tennessee lawn clippings, poured over a smooth orange hops, a feline urine stout.
It's summertime, so I gotta have a summer beer. It's time for lemonade raspberry wheat IPA Goosehead Mouth.
that one thing, seriously, it's called like shanties or something.
That's what I'm saying. It's like raspberry wheat, raspberry shanty with lemonade.
I wish I could remember the name of that one.
It's like, wow, I didn't know Liberace was alive and has on fucking breweries.
But I just think it's, and you're right, everywhere I go, it's like, what does that mean anyway, IPA? Everybody has to, there's an IPA drink.
It's Canadian Pale Ale. Which sometimes IPAs
what does
are
that
okay,
even mean?
I'm not fucking going to buy a 12-pack of
I'm not
and
Native
drink with
American.
my buddies.
I'm not Native American.
Just take the thing out, but sorry to get off on the anti-craft beer podcast hour, but you know, CREEPSHOW, love it. George Romero's a fucking horror genius, and CREEPSHOW films definitely highlight that, his creativity. One of that came out in 2011, that Blu-ray.
Yes.
Looks fantastic. It's just a regular Warner Brothers, stock Blu-ray. So, looks beautiful. Movie's great. It holds up. It's just a fun flick. All the cameos are great. Ted Danson's awesome in it. Tom Atkins is awesome. Galen Ross is awesome in it. And, of course, Stephen King's great in it. And for his writing contributions is really cool. Adrian Barbeau, so it's really good. Honestly, an ensemble cast of people just having a good time in this kind of film. It's very campy, but it feels right. Like all of its the vibe of it's not like dumb or a parody. It just plays out really nicely. So yeah, Creepshow's a classic that definitely holds up and should be kept in high regard. And I think we gave it to a good enough guest, and Peter from Vader is well deserving of that.
It's a cool interview. I didn't have time to.
He kind of just went over the the Empire.
No, we went
record.
through every track by track.
Yeah.
He did a complete description of every song.
It's awesome. You can get the Empire now on Nuclear Blast Records. It's been out for a long time, so if you guys have yet to hear it, definitely go pick it up. It's an ass-ripping record. It's really nice. Pretty brutal-ass record. You're even remotely a Vader fan, this won't disappoint you.
No, not at all.
And go catch them on tour wherever you are. If they're in your neck of the woods, we'll try to actually
Asia.
Check that. They're in Asia right now?
Getting ready to be. And of course, Bakken and all that good stuff. I think they're doing some of those. I don't think they're doing Bakken. They're doing stuff like that.
Let's see. They're playing Party Sam Metal Open Air, Kaltenbach Open Air. They're playing in New Zealand also. So they got a lot of stuff coming up here overseas. So definitely, for us, go check that shit out. Party Sam is in Germany. They're doing that in August. Then they're hitting Austria and Australia. Doing a full-fledged Australia tour. And those are all with Creator. They're doing a Australian tour in September. So
I see you've been watching Game of Thorns.
That's something that you don't want to miss. So do what?
I see you've been watching Game of Thorns.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's that fucking video game.
Oh.
It was free, and I've never played it. Try it out. Some kind of one of those Telltale
Game of Thorns.
Whatever.
Of course, big fan.
You
guys have probably never heard of it.
Yeah, unless you guys really like beer, you should probably check that out. It's a craft beer show. They drink a lot of craft beer.
They do. It's IPA with like an apple or raspberry hop with lemonade.
They work on their medieval vests. They put a lot of patches on there. And, you received a party invite from Vincent Vest. But yeah, definitely check out Vader in your neck of the woods. Australian people and Germany peeps and Austrian peeps. Also Creator. You don't want to miss that shit. And yeah, love Creepshow. It's great. It's good stuff. Classic.
It is. It's a great.
Rest in peace, George Romero.
Yep.
You will live on through your art. I mean, you created zombies for what they are, and no piece of shit show like Walking Dead's going to tarnish it. At least not for the real fans.
Nope.
That supported you through all this.
Amen.
And we're looking forward to the Arrow release of the box set that's got the Crazies and
Season of the Witch.
Season of the Witch, yeah, and
I forget the other thing it's in.
Something vanilla. I don't know.
I wish it was Martin, but whatever.
I do too, but wasn't it made in black and white, Martin?
No,
I don't think so. So yeah, we're looking forward to that for us. Us Romero fans, we're looking forward to more shit, and also that Road of the Dead. Even though I had a lot of qualms about seeing that movie, if it ever reaches the light of day, I will watch it.
What's that?
That Road of the Dead or whatever he was working on.
Yeah.
Now it just kind of seems like I need to watch it if it comes out. So
I didn't think it was finished.
I'm sure they're going to now because he was only
but I don't
producing
think
it or something. He wrote it and everything. Like it's already pretty sure he already.
I see what you're saying.
But yeah, real quick, I think there's some actual good stuff coming out. I think horror is at least trying to go back in the right direction. They got It coming out. It's the first remake of anything that I think looks legit, finally. Still won't know till I see it, but it looks promising. And the length of the film, I think, is longer than the first half of the original one, so it's actually really long. So I think they're going to do it justice. And new Jigsaw's coming out in October. That looks pretty promising as well. So at least those movies kept things gory and fun and not just like serious and thing rip-offs. Which is why everybody always wants to suck indie horror's dick. Like, support indie horror, support indie filmmaking. Fuck indie filmmaking. The only good thing that ever came out of indie filmmaking was Kevin Smith and George Romero. And I know everybody sucks on that tea, but most people that are actually successful, it's because their mommies and daddies were already in the business and they got paid and they have all this money to throw around, so they made it. That's how you really get.
Yeah, they're actually rich, spoiled brats like Wheelchair Fucker, and they just lay around and then they go out and just make these movies, but they don't have to worry about any cost or overhead because it didn't cost them.
They were fucking born in a director chair already. So
yeah.
They just have all this money. And same thing with all the actors in Hollywood.
Totally agree with you.
Most of them are born into it, just like people are born into being politicians. People are born into being in Hollywood.
See, people make fun of me for liking Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise wasn't born into any of that. He came from a really hard-working, broke family. And he made himself a millionaire. Well, that's what I'm saying, but everybody has this like hard-on against Tom Cruise because he's a Scientologist. It's like, I'd rather him be a Scientologist than be a Christian, so...
Yeah, he can believe whatever the fuck he wants. He's Tom Cruise. He's made some of the biggest movies in history.
Sure.
He's in Top Gun and Risky Business and fucking...
There's a sequel to Top Gun being filmed right now.
It's amazing. And Mission Impossible, it's like, you can say what you want, he's a badass. But yeah, I don't... This indie filmmaking thing, like, I'm done... I don't suck people's dicks, okay? I do enough trying to get what we can for this podcast in the manner that we try to get it. And the only people that deserve getting their dick sucked are people that come on here and give us the time of day as guests. They can get all the dick sucked they want.
If they're nice.
If they're nice. And, we'll suck your dick if you suck ours kind of thing.
Exactly.
But, we're not rich assholes, and we're also not supporting stuff we don't feel is doing anything for what we like. Because... in my opinion, indie filmmaking is what's killing everything right now, because indie filmmaking is also this indie beer market crap. It's this indie music crap that thinks they're metal. And this, just all this indie stuff coming out of nowhere is hipster shit. It's hipster shit. Indie equals hipster because it's like underground. It's not underground. It's just coming out of someone's asshole.
Right.
And it's ruining everything else.
I agree with you 100%. Everything you said without me having to flip out about it.
It's like, everyone started out somewhere, I get that. But these people aren't trying to start out somewhere. They're starting from where somebody else already ended. And they think that they can go in there and make their own version of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, look, you're not Sam Raimi, you're not John Carpenter, and you're not fucking James Cameron either. So, you can take all of that and shove it up your ass.
Pretty much.
Leave Star Wars alone, leave Ghostbusters alone, leave Indiana Jones alone. Leave the fucking 80s alone. It's not the 80s anymore. The 80s are cool, but guess what? We have Blu-rays to relive everything that we couldn't before. If there's some 90s Nintendo fruitcake that has to wear skinny jeans and fucking Metallica patches on, make up something new or do your own thing. And if you can't think of anything, then go work at fucking Food City or Kroger or something, or be a fucking Kroger tard. You don't have to sit there and make movies or make music. Stop being motivated and inspired if you can't think of anything original. It's not fair to us that actually like shit, I appreciate things. What I don't appreciate is these fucking anus slickers that all they really want to do is when they're 50, they're going to break down and buy a fucking Harley Davidson motorcycle. But right now, they got to be 25 and make fucking movies.
Geico motorcycle.
For us all to suffer through. It's just like, what I really want to do is be sad and buy a Harley because my wife left me with my kid. And then it's,
she's like, but I still love you because you got a fucking job.
Yeah. It's just a whole mess, but I don't have to support what everybody else wants me to. And it doesn't make me an asshole. It makes me... me.
Yeah.
And if I am an asshole, so be it. But in all reality, the indie things are what's ruining everything else. Because all these people think they're entitled because they're indie filmmakers. They're like, well, we're the ones that are fighting for blim, 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 blim. Like, no, your dad put you through fucking film school and now you think the world owes you a fucking dick suck because you're you know. Because you and two of your dipshit friends you went to college with think they're John Carpenter and you know, Deborah Hill, and you're not. So that's just my 2 cents, you know.
I agree with your 2 cents.
It's just...
I agree with it and make it 4 cents, because I totally agree with you 100%.
So no, I support a lot of people that came from the quote-unquote indie filmmaking, but there's not indie filmmaking now. It's just not.
No, Robert Rodriguez was an independent filmmaker. And at one time, Tarantino was. But I think people lose an edge to a degree, you know what I mean?
I also don't like new movies, really. Like, unless it's people that have been in the business for as long as I've been alive. All these new people coming up, they're too inspired by shit. They're not inspired to create. They're inspired to repeat.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
And I don't like that
that's
at
a
all.
very good point.
I don't want to see something that's been done a million times. And you know what? I don't expect people to just keep coming up with new things, because everything has been done. But don't... If you're going to make an alien cult doctor movie, don't call it homage to the Thing, or don't like make people, or don't pay movie review places to tell other people it's the Thing of the 2000s. Like, you don't need to do that.
Do you know what's bad about the whole thing with John Carpenter's The Thing? It's a fucking remake.
I know. But if you market something...
From another world, it's fucking stupid.
If you're shoving something down my throat that's marketed for me to say, like, it's targeting me, like, if you're a fan of practical effects and gore and The Thing by J.J. Abrams, it's like, I automatically don't want to watch it. And it's the wrong audience ploy. It's like, you should just be like, if you're a fan of Rob Zombie and Repo the Genetic Opera, The Void. And that's everybody. There you go. They cover the whole.
But see, to go back to the Repo Genetic Opera thing, I respect the fact that you can be like, there's a point in your life when you saw it and you're like, this is cool, and you liked it.
Yeah, I did.
Well, that's I get that, and I wasn't saying I want to come kill you with the.
No, I know. But you know what the other thing is? At least that movie's original, and somebody wrote it all themselves.
Oh, it is.
Music into it.
It was definitely unique.
It's inspired.
It reminded me of Rocky Horror, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but they're not like it's the
but
Rocky
it's not
Horror.
But it's not a rip. But it wasn't a rip off. It was very unique.
Yeah, it's its own thing, and whether you like it or not, at least it wasn't like trying to pass it off as it's an '80s throwback. It's like, I'm so sick of that shit.
Oh, it definitely wasn't. It's its own thing.
You're never gonna make an '80s movie.
Do you have it on Blu-ray?
What, Repo? I used to have it on DVD a long time ago.
I heard the Blu-ray looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. They do another one called Devil's Carnival. There's 2 parts to it, and they're really short. But it's like Repo, but it's like more of a carnival, and they got like other actors in it.
Oh, weird.
It is weird. It's not as good. It actually sucks. Because it's got some of the same people in it.
That's depressing.
It's got that dude from Five Finger Death Punch in it. That kind of kills the whole thing. It makes it really lame. Yeah, he's like a clown. He's like, I'm a clown. It's fucking gay. There's a couple actors in there that are cool.
I'm Moody.
It's bad.
I like it. I'm Moody. Because he's got my sleeves.
Because he's a little fucking metal midget. But
he's got my sleeves.
He rides Harleys. He wants to fuck me in the butt. He likes
He
Harley
also likes
Davidson.
UFC and jerking off on his boyfriend.
He likes jerking off in his own belly butt. But anyway, speaking of, what is it? If we get Brian from Black Dahlia Murder on the podcast, you have to bring up the Five Finger Death Punch thing. It is so funny.
It is funny.
He did an interview about it where they were on stage. I guess it was.
He was telling us this.
Was it the Monster Energy thing?
He was telling us this.
Yeah, that's right.
No, they were at that festival in Australia, or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
Soundscape or Soundwave or something like that. Festival.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I don't know why I can't think of that. Sound far.
And he was like, "Hey, y'all turn it down. We're trying to warm."
Yeah,
up."
they were They were each on a stage or whatever, and he was making them shut up or something.
And then
he was like, "Fuck you, man! You have a small."
And then Brian followed him all the way to his tree. He's like, "Where are you at, you fuck?" Yeah. He was gonna beat the shit out of him. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's because he's me.
We got to bring it up again because it'd be funny. For him to tell that on the podcast would be hysterical. Because he's a little midget, but you can get into a lot of stuff about that. But anyway, If I can tell you anything true, guys, just be yourselves. You got nothing to prove. You like the stuff you like.
Hey, man, if there was a way, if you and I were independently wealthy, we could make, obviously, our own horror films.
Yeah.
But I would be all about if we were established to bring on young talent that actually had a vision for something. They didn't want to remake The Fog or remake Friday the 13th. They actually wanted to try to do something. I'm not saying it has to be completely original, but have some kind of,
I'm not trying to make my version of anything. It's just going to be a
right.
thing.
Right, yeah.
If you're an indie filmmaker, you're an aspiring filmmaker, don't be trapped in a time you weren't even born in. Let's just relax. Just enjoy yourself and what you like, and stop sticking your fucking your pink hole out at people like you're cool. You're just like, look at me, look at my little pinky hole.
Because I shaved all my hair off and put it on my friend's face so he could walk up to Dr. West and be like, what was your name again?
Yeah, and like System of a Down, and relax. Take a chill pill, drink a real beer. Just relax,
Yeah, just walk. I know it's going to hurt you to do it, but just walk in after you shaved your beard off and just buy a Miller Lite.
It's like
it tastes good and it's not going to make you fat.
Just make it Miller time, not
shanty time,
not tropical grapefruit pineapple IPA. Because I saw that the other day and I almost threw up in my fucking shirt.
Do you know another one that I understand?
It was like pineapple. It's like pineapple mist.
Here's a big thing that I see women drinking. It's seltzer water, but it's got booze in it.
Yeah. And now this is the other one. It's not your daddy's root beer. It's like, well, this isn't your daddy's penis.
What's up with that ad for everything? It started in
now
09. It's like, this isn't your daddy's Star Trek. This isn't, and then they did it with that chips. This ain't your daddy's chips. It's like, no, because your daddy's chips was good.
Yeah, and everything else is a remake turd now. Oh, here's the other one. It's now they got hard grape soda because everything has to be hard. It's like we're
made with pure cane asphalt sugar.
It's Mike's
and
hard
Red Bull.
It's Mike's Hard Splenda. It's like I don't know why everybody's
Mike's Hard Sweet and Low.
Yeah, everybody's beer now or liquor has to taste like fucking like Activia.
Mike's Hard Zero.
I want my beer to make me feel like I'm gonna diarrhea later. It's like I didn't know alcohol was diuretic.
Mike's new Hard Red Bull.
Yeah. It's just stupid.
Mike's we're gonna new IPA Red Bull.
We're gonna do a whole nother episode just talking about this, but if you're an aspiring filmmaker, good for you. Just try to be original without trying to be original. Just kind of, if you're not original, take the hint and just be like, well, I'm a has-been, but at least I'm not going to be, 60 and be, Tarantino or something. So, just...
These people are too caught up in being successful as opposed to what they're actually getting successful from.
Well, they're trying to be successful off of other people's shit that they like. They're like, I just want to I just want to make it
like
exactly what they
like
make.
Ghost is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, they're like, I just want to be ABBA. It's like, well, be ABBA, dress in drag and be.
I tell you one thing the other night, guys, because I couldn't pick up a hot chick with $1 million bill in my zipper. I just pick up a lot of trannies, bring them over here and fuck them to a Lizzie Borden record. And
I just had Carson come over. Man, he looked good. I just let him bend me over and stick his little summer sausage in my crack.
He put his summer ale in me.
In my metal plated rectum.
He put his. Yeah, that's it.
Well, we got Peter from Vader on the show.
We love Peter.
It's fucking awesome. We got Peter from Vader coming on the show just in a moment. Thank you guys for sticking around. Hope you enjoy CREEPSHOW and our raunchiness and our negativity. It's what fuels metal and horror combined. Hopefully you get something positive out of all this. We always have a lot of fun, even though it sounds like we're just pissed, because it's a little bit of both. You can't have fun until you swim through a river of shit first. So.
Sure.
Enjoy Peter from Vader. For all you that listen to this whole fucking thing front to back, thank you very much. This was quite the long one, but we had a good time. Pick up The Empire on Nuclear Blast now. Get on the fucking ball with that. It's been out a long time. If you're in Austria or Australia or Germany, go catch Vader out in your neck of the woods.
Or Asia.
Yeah, or Asia.
Not the band.
Yeah, you can catch Vader
Heat of the moment.
headlining over Asia. So, yeah. We now give you the doctor's interview with Peter from Vader on their recent U.S. tour. And as always, from the Doctor and I, stay fucking gory.
It's Dr. Vincent West from the Phantasm Podcast, and I'm here with my favorite person in death metal, Piotr from VADER. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Good. Well, thank you for doing this. And you guys are over in the States now doing a tour, and how's that going?
Yeah, we just started 4 days ago in Maryland Death Fest.
How was that?
So that was pretty good, actually. That's amazing. And so that was the first time we took a part in this festival. So we knew about that before. We heard about that, but never had an opportunity. So finally, we came, and we were destroyed. We destroyed, and we were destroyed by a crowd, really, indeed.
That's amazing.
So it's amazing. So we did a special performance. So because this year is going to be 25 years since our debut, the first album was released. So we played the whole album. So that was a special gift, you know.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. What a gift that was. So that's awesome. And you liked it. That was pretty cool going to Maryland. The first time at Maryland, then.
Very, yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's amazing. And talk a little bit about the Empire, your latest record. I love it. You want to talk a little bit about the recording process of the Empire, or writing and
the recording process was actually pretty regular for us. So so maybe we were working a little bit more before we entered the studio, more than usually. It doesn't mean that the general situation was so different. So we worked for years, for decades, usually in the studio. So I prefer this more spontaneous work, and I think just the first album was actually recorded as so we know about everything before we enter the studio.
Right.
But since then, so I usually do a lot in the studio, like doing so. This is how I work, you know. I know for some people it's odd, but this is how we work.
I think it's cool.
It's just music, you know. Music should have a little bit spontaneous like element, you know, and that's like it's not like mathematic, you know. So you need to do this and that, like exactly how it is. This music should be emotional, and this is how we work. This is how I take the music as a fan, you know. So this is how I give it to those who like Vader, you know.
Oh yeah, pure death metal from Vader. I always love that. One of my favorite cuts on the record that I really liked a whole lot was No Gravity. I really like that song.
That's our dedication to crazy diehard fans, you know. This is all about the moshing, you know, in the pit,
I picked
you know.
A good one, then.
But of course, like, we put this in the story now, so it looks like no gravity, you know. If you see something, people like moshing, like jumping from a stage, you know, diving. So sometimes it feels like there's no gravity in the room. So that's impression, and you know, that's how I call it. It's typical songs dedicated.
We appreciate that.
For crazy fans, you know.
That's me. That's definitely me. That's Dr. Vincent West. I'm a crazy Vader fan. Yeah. Any standout tracks for you on the record, personal for you?
You know, never ask a creator about which is a favorite, because like I like all of them. Like, just like each one is like I'm trying to talk about something which happened to me.
Right.
A story, you know, something like impression after I read a book, or I saw something, and you know, just my feelings. Just the difference is I create the stories, and I'm not talking straight, you know, about like feelings, about emotions. I just try to make this like in the past, you know. If you remember, I was a guy called La Fontaine, and he was writing a book. It looked like it's for kids, because he put some emotions to the animals, but actually it was all about humans. And he was talking about society, about how human nature is, but he put it in some, animals, creating the stories.
Right.
This is how I do. Just my stories are more creepy. Some is like fairy tales, but each one got a real background.
Another track I really liked on the album is "Send Me Back to Hell." That's a good song.
That's actually so we have Memorial Day right today. So it's all about that. It's about all those who served in the army, and no matter which side was that, no matter what war was that, which century, it's about those who survived hell. And the war changed their mind. The war changed them so much, so they couldn't understand the real world. So for them, after they came back, it's supposed to be like coming back from hell, to the real world, to paradise. And they saw, the bad things they didn't realize before. And at the end, they decided just to get back to hell, because they found, friendship with the guys. They found those who served a life just to save somebody's life, in hell, they saw good human nature more than in the peace, in those places when life's supposed to be way better.
Right.
So extremity, so extreme life changed them, but also extremity makes some people. That's ironic, of course, but it's indeed war. Sometimes they show the best, the worst, and also the best part of human nature.
Right.
This is all about. Also about those who cannot stand, who mentality changed absolutely, and sometimes they just commit suicide after they come back home, because it's just like absolutely destroyed, mentally. Wars, hell.
Oh yeah, it's. My uncle was a Vietnam veteran, so yeah.
So
I didn't know about it till he died. Actually, he never talked about it. It was really interesting. That's really cool. Tempest.
That's Spider's song, even if it sounds more like mine.
I didn't. Yeah, I had no idea.
I'm the guy who more into blast beats, and like the Spider's more about melody, this kind of stuff. But blasting song. This is probably one of those very, very typical Vader-ish, on the album.
Very good track. Good track. Yeah, it's great. Angels of Steel. That's a great track.
That's about the impression was the old. That was 15th, 17th century, and Poland was especially heavy cavalry, and they were very heavy armored, and were using wings. Who made when they were charging, so the wings and the flatter, they made a noise to scare enemies, and that was the elite, and back then, and actually everybody feared of this one. That was like the strong arm of Polish army back then in the century, and. It's pretty famous even because of that, and the swings,
Right.
They were looking like, and that was I remember I saw the Russian movie about what happened in Russia in 16 something, and that was like a picture like that was a village early morning, and the people just started to live like in a village, and there was like a little girl. And she was asking, Mommy, look, the angels are coming. And then it was a picture of this charging cavalry with the wings, with his, head looking like his cause, absolutely killing everybody,
It's amazing.
So that's, it's a little bit about that, because, in Poland we have, we like to talk about the history and about achievements in history, but not everybody like to talk about blood on our hands, because... Right. There's no nation who's like better or worse, and each nation's, even Poland, took a part in wars and had, bloody stains on hands, That's all about war,
It's a cool song. Prayer to the God of War.
Which one?
Prayer to the God of War.
That's about, actually, that's about today, about the brainwashing by religion, and like making people living bombs. I'm not focused on one religion, so we can name it. It's going to fit to each religion, because religion is all about. It's like a politic. It's also about using people
for an agenda.
Yeah, just for that exactly. So it's. I was never against believe, people. That's very private thing. It's motivation. So but I'm always against those who used, belief of the other people just for their personal success, and for politics. And this is all about that. Shortly.
Oh, cool. And then Iron Rain.
Iron Rain is about First World War. Actually, that was the 100th century, 100 years since the war took place. It was, in my opinion, that was the most horrible, conflict, where like a million people died in absolutely no sense. If we can say about any sense, killing or dying, but that was just
crazy.
Shooting, killing with gas and everything. And this song is like a day from a diary, let's say in the West Front somewhere. If you know about that, and you can read it, so we can just feel that when the morning started, somebody's attacking, fog around, taking your breath away. That's impressionable.
That's a cool song. That's a great description.
That's probably this song is also pretty much inspired the main riff, by one of my all-time favorite band, Judas Priest. This is typical metal. This 150% metal band, and I'm still a big fan, of that band, and if I may say that Black Sabbath infected me with a love to the music at all, for heavy music. Judas Priest made me a musician, made me a heavy metal freak.
They're great.
And I think if we started Vader, we wouldn't start Vader if I wouldn't hear, and my friend with whom I started Vader. So we met just because I was a fan of Priest, and he had a button with British Steel and that, and that's how we started, to talk. That we started a band. We named it Vader. We just wanted to be more extreme,
Oh, sure.
That was, beginning of '80s, so that was different times.
It's amazing, yeah. Love Judas Priest. Genocidus.
That's probably many people ask me since many years about inspiration for the name Vader, and of course, inspiration was Star Wars. But in '80s, when we are looking for a good name for a band playing such a music, so that person of Darth Vader, his image, the dark side, everything, that was absolutely, totally great, to show the band, and to show what we trying to do, what kind of music we do.
Right.
And of course, as a name, it was good, After years, when we became fathers of metal in our own country, so we didn't even know that Vader in Dutch or in Norwegian means father. Exactly.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
That's coincidence, but nice one, actually. And this is probably the only song and the whole Vader history which is absolutely straight inspired by Star Wars as a movie. So we can feel that main riff, something inspired by John Williams soundtracks.
Oh yeah, love that stuff.
That was funny story, creepy story, because I bought that story about John Williams' death. That was, of course, something, the stupid things which happen sometimes in the internet. People making some artists dead, even if they're still alive.
Right.
I didn't check it. It was just pretty loud about it. And so, been inspired by John Williams' death, which was not, and that was good, of course.
Yeah.
I created this song.
It's a great song, and my favorite John Williams thing from my childhood is probably the Superman score. them?
I love all of them. This is very good composer. You know,
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Definitely
all
one of
man.
the best ever.
Oh, he's amazing. he's so talented. And then let's see, the Armageddon.
So Armageddon is about like holy wars. It's exactly like going to Jerusalem, like crusades. You know, remember those times. It's a bit about brainwashing. It's a bit about using people and like pushing them to kill in the name of God, you know.
Right.
So this is exactly about crusade, but I think it's the same feeds to the other side, you know. Same like Pray to God of War, you know. It's the same story, you know.
Okay, cool. So, that's interesting. Feel My Pain.
Feel My Pain. That's a story about. That's kind of a story about Lucifer. You can name it. Somebody who was kicked off paradise by the God, just because he was asking too much, you know, and God didn't like that. Of course, you know that story,
right?
So this Satan, Lucifer, the fallen angel, maybe that's the best name for him. He turned down to the earth and tried to show to God to take, you know, because he knew that human is like the God, lovely kid, let's say, like creation,
right?
And he couldn't understand how he let humanity suffer so much, you know. So he went down to earth, collected all the pain of humanity, come back and just gave it to God, just like handed him over, so God should feel that pain, you know, from humanity.
Right.
So this is kind of ironic. This is more like the story, but you know, this is all about questions. You know, why? You know, why we suffer? Because God is supposed to protect us. Why He let us suffer? You know, this philosophy more, but it's good to ask sometimes.
Yeah, it's very important to ask. And then Parabellum.
Parabellum means exactly be ready to war, and this is all about like the old motto. So about living in peace. About living in peace, you know, and about human nature and war. So actually, this is all about that. If you wanna live in peace, you should be ready for war. It's all about us.
That's awesome.
And this song about this.
Well, that's cool. Well, I think we got everything, didn't we? We got all those. Yeah, we got every track. We got all of them.
I think so.
Let's talk. That was amazing. Thank you for doing that. You want to talk a little bit about what plans Vader has for the rest of the year that you can talk about? Touring.
So right after
anything you want to plug?
Right after American tour, so we have like a few festivals and summer festivals in Europe. It's not too many this year. So after decades, finally, I will have the real vacation, so I can spend with my family.
That's good.
And because we have a strong accumulation of festivals last year, so it's a lot of them. So this year it's more easy.
That's good.
But we start very intense at the end of August. We're going to Australia and Japan and Singapore with Creator.
That's going to be amazing.
I'm sure it will be.
Oh, yeah, that's a hell of a bill.
And then we have some plans for the end of years to do something in Europe again, like the Empire Tour Part 3.
Nice.
So we didn't visit the south part of Europe. So we're going to focus on this part this time. And so we plan also to bring back the first album as a whole. So what we did in Maryland.
Yeah.
And because of the 25th anniversary of the album, and try to do some special performances with this album in Poland.
Amazing.
You know, so first in Poland, maybe than in something in Europe, because the people are already asking for that.
Oh, sure. I mean, who doesn't want to see that live? That's amazing. Well, that's exciting. And I guess get some time to yourself, relax, and then back at it, huh?
It's actually I'm not like I don't like to do interviews on tour, because the tour shows a priority, and talking forces my throat more than screaming. I don't know why, but it is.
Well,
that's why I try to avoid it as much as possible.
I understand. Well, I appreciate you doing it.
Don't take me wrong, and just like I do like talk about music and about Vader, but I prefer to do it just when I'm home or when I'm not on tour.
I understand.
I don't like to divide, my mentality into this or that. However stupid that sounds, but
well,
it's all about like voice. I'm trying to keep it safe for a show. I had some problems in the last tour. I was decapitated. So we finished like 2 weeks ago, and that's why I'm trying just to keep calm.
Sure. Look, you've done more than I could even imagine you do.
Here's Peter from Vader, and you're listening to Phantasm Podcast. Stay with us.
Coming soon from Phantasm.
In a time of fear and suspicion,
you choose to admit your crimes before man and God?
His coming was foretold. Now, he is here.
You know the signs. You are bewitched.
He has the face of an angel.
Channel me a spirit.
The charm of the devil.
Hear me when I say he's evil. Evil absolute.
And the powers of a god. Satan also has one son.
For you are the first to have laid eyes upon the new Messiah.
Now, an enemy from his past.
Who appointed you executioner?
And a girl from the present.
You know what he's capable of.
Next time he's gonna kill me.
I'll not let him harm you.
Are the only hope for the future. This is the terrifying adventure that could set the world on fire. Warlock.
Every year, hundreds of young people travel the country and disappear. God help those who get caught in the tourist trap. Tourist trap, where beautiful young people looking for excitement are tricked, terrorized, trapped.
Let go!
shock you can see. Terror you can feel. Heart-stopping suspense that makes this the nightmare that never ends. Something crazy's going on at the tourist trap. To see may shock you. It may frighten you more than you've ever been frightened before. Don't worry. It's only a maddening, horrifying nightmare. Or is it?
What are you gonna do?
Fire some flares. Did you give her the pills like I told you?
Maybe it's not a nightmare after all.
There's nothing up here.
Are they really alone? Or is there an unwelcome guest? Is this a nightmare? Or is it the fear we all have when we're alone in the dark? And if it's only a nightmare, why is everybody dead? Prepare yourself, because you will never want to be alone again. Prepare yourself for the Slayer.
There is something in the streets. Something in the shadows. Something in the dark that kills.
You're trying to tell me 2 kids did this?
She's got a statement from an eyewitness that said she saw the kids attack her.
Officer! Oh, thank God it's you.
The head was unstable and there was a sudden deceleration injury.
You think a cop did this?
Why not?
You automatically assume that it was a police officer instead of some lunatic son of a bitch dressed up like a cop.
He didn't kill the girl. He wanted a witness. He'll kill again. He enjoys killing.
He strikes without cause. Without mercy.
Who's he killing? Pushers? Hustlers?
Help me!
Innocent people.
Maniac cop?
You may be getting information from inside the department.
That means he is one of us.
When the killer is a cop, there's danger in every badge.
You're not gonna get me.
Suspicion in every uniform.
Since when is my personal life any of your business?
Since your wife was found dead in a motel room.
When a cop turns killer, no one is safe.
See a cop, you crossed to the other side of the street.
He'll find you wherever you are.
Bye, squad.
He'll destroy you, whoever you are.
You broke out of your cell, you killed them all.
It wasn't me, it was somebody else. I didn't do any of this.
Now they think they got the guilty man, so you'll be free to get to the mayor and the commissioner.
Reason cannot stop him. Bullets cannot kill him. This is one maniac you'll have to face alone or die. The choice is yours. You can fight him or remain silent forever. Starring Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead, Maniac Cop.
Good evening, Walnut Lake shoppers.
It's closing time.
The store will be closing in 15 minutes.
But the night crew still has work to do.
We're gonna get in so much trouble.
Because there's one last customer who isn't satisfied.
No, this creep keeps calling her. He's driving us nuts. Leave me alone.
He wants to slash their prices.
Who's there?
He wants to cut their inventory.
You're crazy!
He wants to chop
until they all drop.
I saw him kill Linda.
And now, he's turning their retail store.
There's gonna be one more killing here tonight.
Into a wholesale slaughterhouse. From the producers of Evil Dead 2 and Pulp Fiction comes a new chapter in terror. Bruce Campbell, Ted Raimi, Renee Estevez, and Sam Raimi in Intruder, a new dimension in terror.
I'm just crazy about this store.